All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this afternoon's live commentary coverage of the South Point 400 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the first race of the round of 8 of the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. 4 races to go on the season in 2025 as we come into the West Coast singular trip for this weekend before heading back to the east from Las Vegas to Talladega Superspeedway next weekend in the second race of the round. 8 drivers are vouching for one championship, 4 possible spots at a shot at the title at Phoenix in another 4 weekends. And it is a very tight points battle, which we will get into in a little bit. But as we usually do for these live commentary streams, we start off with the trivia side of things here. So we're going to do some trivia, then we're going to highlight the Fantasy League, then the point standings, and go over the starting lineup for today's race. And by that point, we'll be underway for a 400-mile, 267-lap race around this mile-and-a-half racetrack in Las Vegas, Nevada. Bam Hall, VG Clips, Robert Goodrich, Raymond Joss, and others, welcome into the stream. You guys are the first in the chat below. We're going to be doing 2 shorter quizzes for today's stream. This first one is going to be 6 minutes in length, very quick. We have to name anybody who has ever won a Cup, Xfinity, or truck race at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Now, all the Cup races, for the most part, have been in my lifetime. Well, really, all the races across all 3 series have been in my lifetime. But for those of you that are regulars of the channel know that I didn't watch much truck or Xfinity series racing through the 2010s as much. So that is where I think I'm going to struggle the most. Then maybe in the early 2000s with like the Busch and the Truck Series, just because I was super young then and probably wasn't watching those lower series at that point as well. So I will be bouncing back and forth between screens right now. My phone is currently dead, so it is on a charger. And I'll have to flip back and forth between screens for this first quiz. By the second quiz, I should have enough battery juice in my phone to get the chat up there. So we'll start off 6 minutes, 104 names. Again, anybody who has ever won a race. And we're going to start off with Busch, Johnson. You know what? Actually, let's go in chronological order. We'll go Josh Berry. Joey Logano last season. Larson has won here a bunch recently. Byron. Bowman. 2021. Well, Truex has a win here, I know. A couple of them. Who else has a win? Tony Stewart. Keselowski. Brad's got a few. Earnhardt does not have any. Neither. Okay. Mark Martin, I know, has a win. Busch Series-wise. Jeff Gordon. At Kenseth. Edwards, I would assume. Yep. Biffle for the Busch Series. Sterling Marlin. Did I put Johnson yet? No, I did not. Now I did. Casey Kane? Busch Series, yes. All right. Wasn't sure on that one. 2021. Larson won the spring race that season. Who won the fall? It wasn't Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch won in 2020. Gregson, Xfinity. No, he hasn't won an Xfinity race here. Allgaier has. I know Austin Hill has. Go Sheldon Creed for trucks. Nope. Mike Skinner is probably on the list. Todd Bodine. Ron Hornaday. Kevin Harvick. Boyer not on here. Nemechek for Xfinity. Elliott Sadler? Tyler Reddick? Cole Custer? Oh, Riley Herbst is one here. Ben Rhodes ever win here at all? Yes. Christian Eckes, I believe, has a win. Truck Series, his first career win came here. Corey Heim, of course. It's not counting yesterday's Xfinity race either. Busher, no. Stenhouse? Stenhouse is on here. Austin Dillon, truck and Xfinity. 73 of 104. Jimmy Spencer. Jack Sprague, probably. Yep. About Ted Musgrave. And trucks. Yep. Crawford, no. Presley, no. 2020s in the Xfinity Series. Ty Gibbs probably won here. What about Briscoe? He won a bunch of races in a season. Okay, so he had 2 wins here in 2020. Cindric? Nope. Allmendinger has a win here, I know. 2 of them. 2018. It's got to be current Cup guy, I would think. 2024. Oh, Raja Caruth. Yeah, he won the truck race last season here. Crafton have a win? No. Well, Enfinger. Yes. Bobby Hamilton. Tell you what, 6 minutes is not a lot of time. You got 1 minute left on our first of 2 quizzes. I haven't been able to look at the chat much. Smith. Yes, Chandler Smith. How did I not put Denny Hamlin yet? That was the one I was missing. I know you guys were probably yelling at me in the chat. Sam Mayer. No. Gillen. No. Johnny Sauter. Oh, Waltrip maybe in the Xfinity Series? No. Out of time. Oh, John West Townley. I forgot his only career win came at Vegas. For some reason, I was thinking Gateway. I didn't realize his only career win came here. Eric Jones, which is insane to see Eric Jones 2014. You don't realize he's been in the top 3 series of NASCAR for that long. 2014 in the Truck Series, Eric Jones won here. I would not have thought that early in the 2010s he was racing. Ross Chastain 2018. That was one of his early wins. I think that was a Ganassi win for him there. Sam Hornish Jr. had a win here. Jeff Burton had 3 wins at Las Vegas. He had 2 in Cup and 3 in the Busch Series. That would have been a lot. That was the big one we were missing. But and then 2 active drivers of Jones and Chastain. Travis Kvapil, another former champion, Brennan Gaughan, David Starr, Joe Ruttman, and Shane Meal also has a Las Vegas win. Nelson Piquet Jr. won on an oval. I didn't even realize that. I thought he only won road courses in the Truck Series and Xfinity. All right. So that's our first quiz. We did get above the average score, 84%, 76. You guys helped out a little bit. We'll do another short quiz before we get into more in-depth analysis with the pre-race for today's action. How it says cookie cutter racetrack winners. See what else they have for Las Vegas. Spring race of last season. We can try to do 1998 inaugural Las Vegas Cup race. Seven minutes. That's all they give me. Yeah, why not? Get my phone on me real quick. So 7 minutes, and we have to name everybody who raced in the 1998 Las Vegas Cup race, which is the first year that the Cup Series had raced at Las Vegas. So that'll be our second quiz. This will be fun. See how it goes. Get the chat up on my phone this time. A little easier to engage with you guys. My diction has been off over the last couple days. I think I'm not sleeping well, guys. I think a little bit yesterday too. A lot of slurring of words. I think it's still from the Tigers game and staying up till 1:20 in the morning a couple nights ago, and I had to get up early this morning. Up at 6:30. All right, let's get the chat back up on my phone. It takes a while to turn my phone on after it was dead. Dean Tate, welcome into the stream. Didn't help, wasn't prepared. We're even here yet. Well, we're doing another short quiz. 2 short quizzes this week. Steve, welcome to the stream as well. Federico Sanchez, thanks for tuning in. Come on, phone. All right. I've got the chat up on my phone now. All right, so again, our quiz, 7 minutes on the clock. Anybody who ever raced in the first ever NASCAR Cup race at Las Vegas? Mark Martin. Jeff Gordon, I believe, won the race. No, he did not. All right, never mind. Burton, Jeff Ward. Stewart wasn't around yet. Ted Musgrave, Chad Little. Okay, so we got all the Roush cars. Labonte brothers, Earnhardt. Oh, he wasn't racing yet. Ernie Irvin was in there. Sterling Marlin was in there. Mike Skinner. Dale Jarrett. Jarrett was the winner. I wish it showed the sponsors before I'd actually put the answers in. All right, let's think here. Late 90s NASCAR, Keegan. John Andretti was around. Ricky Rudd. Dave Marcus. Lake Speed still racing? Yep. Finished dead last, actually. Rusty Wallace. See if the chat has. Chat doesn't have anybody yet. Jerry Nadeau? I don't think he... Oh, he was around. Okay. He was around. We've got 20 of 51. And this is also listing drivers who DNQ'd. Bobby Hamilton. Jimmy Spencer. Kenny Schrader. Jeremy Mayfield. Okay. Rick Mast. Kevin LePage. Okay. Green. David Green and Jeff Green. All right. Sauter was not in there. Jack Sprague in here at all? No. Mike Bliss, probably not. No. Kyle Petty, yes. Good call, chat. Sam I am. Thank you for that. Stacy. No, Stacy Compton. I had the wrong Stacy. I was thinking Nelson Stacy. Oh, he's not in here either. Robert Presley. Okay. 1998. It's before I was born. Michael Waltrip. Darrell Waltrip should be in there also. 32 of 51. I'm impressing myself here. Now, I do have Little. I do have Green. Morgan Shepherd. Nope. Trying to think back to NASCAR Thunder 2004, see if there was any guys that have been racing for like 5 years that I haven't named yet that were in that game. It's 49. So you should be huge help here, Dean. Why am I mean, is 32 all I've got? 32 out of 51? Steve Park? Okay, 33. Nemechek. Ricky Craven was probably in the field. Yep. Got 35 of 51. I'm impressing myself, honestly. Harry Gant was retired because I tried him already. Anybody who ran the first Cup race at Las Vegas, spring of 1998. Memory loss. Yeah, that does it. I'm right there with you. I just don't have the age to kind of back that sentiment up. Sadler was not in the field. He wasn't there yet. Was Dave Blaney? No. Derek Cope? Yes. Forgot about Derek. No, not Rex White. Bill Parsons racing, maybe? Wally Dallenbach? Yep. Wally was there. Steve Grissom. Here we go, chat. 38 of 51. I tried Morgan Shepherd. I'm surprised he wasn't in here. I do have Rick Mast. 35 seconds left. 38 of 51. I got DW. I did put Lake Speed already. Who was runner-up? Newman wasn't around yet. Tony Stewart wasn't around yet. He was a rookie the following season. Gosh, who was runner-up in this race? I don't have second or fourth. Johnny Benson? Okay. Jeff Bodine. Why do I forget Jeff Bodine all the time with these quizzes? Bill Elliott? Oh my goodness. 39 of 51 was impressive, but despite how impressive it was, the fact that I forgot Bill Elliott and Jeff Bodine. Oh my goodness. My brain doesn't register that Jeff Bodine was racing in 1998, and I don't know why. Dick Trickle. I didn't realize he was still around at that time. Greg Sachs. I was almost there earlier. Todd Bodine. Yeah, I mean, any of the Bodines, really. Brett was in the race. Butch Gilliland. You know, I was like, I was looking up on my diecast, and I saw the 38 cars, and they were Elliott Sadler diecast behind me. And 38, and I was thinking Gilliland. And I'm like, oh, David Gilliland, this is way before his time. Who would have known that Butch Gilliland was going to be on the list? In the 38 car, too. Ralph Sport. What the heck is... How does that happen? I don't even know who Butch Gilliland is. He's got to be related to David Gilliland, right? Larry Gunzelman. Gary Bradbury, starting park guy. Tony Raines tried to qualify for this race. DNQ'd. Hut Strickland. Kenny Irwin Jr. And yeah, I mean, we didn't miss much. 12 names, most of them were DNQs. I mean, Bill Elliott and Jeff Bodine. I mean, how do I... Oh my gosh. Bodine would have got me 3 of them. We did not get the average score either. That's depressing. That's only the 3rd time all season we have not gotten an average score. Well, we'll try again another time. Brother or father, that's what I would think. I've never heard of Butch Gilliland. If it has any relation to, if it has no relation to David Gilliland, no idea who that is. All right, well, we got 76%, average score 84%. That's going to wrap up our NASCAR Sporkle Trivia for this weekend. If you are not in the NASCAR Fantasy League yet, be sure to join on the NASCAR.com website or the NASCAR mobile app. Chance to win 2 tickets to any NASCAR race if you're choosing the following season. If you win our regular season and or playoff championship. Headed down to the end of the wire. We only got about 4 races left in the postseason. Fantasy League is going to lock up here in another minute from now. Let me submit my lineup. NASCAR.com. Come on! I don't want Bob's Discount Furniture. I really hope I can edit this. Give me Briscoe for SVG. I gotta take a lot of these guys out. I gotta put Bell in for Gibbs. I gotta put Byron in. Larson. I'll keep Elliott. I'll keep Reddick. I'll keep the rest of the team. I might not be getting any head-to-head points this week. Try to make this pick before it locks. Give me Larson over Byron. Oh, I couldn't make it. Well, you know what? At least I got my starting roster in at literally the last second before it locked. Head-to-head picks this week are Larson versus Byron. I would have taken Larson. Logano versus Bell would have taken Bell. Hamlin versus Blaney. Give me Hamlin. Briscoe, Elliott. Give me Briscoe. Hopefully, I don't leave any points on the table there. Don't forget your lineup like I did. Yeah, Bob's Discount Furniture was definitely in the way. That might have cost me a couple of the head-to-head picks. All right, we'll check out the Fantasy League standings. We checked this out during practice and qualifying coverage yesterday on the channel. But coming into this week, Monster Jam X10, who was a regular season champion, currently has a 48-point lead over Inside Uranus in second. P-Shat Motorsports with 1337 in third. Tied for third with CRN Corona. And Troy the Great rounds out the top 5 at 1316. I'm in 8th place with 1300 even. 99 points separates the top 8 going into this week's fantasy standings. Really, the top 9 are separated by 109 points. Very, very tight battle with 4 races to go. And Talladega is really going to be the difference maker. Whoever is within about 60, 70, 80 points after Dega has a legitimate shot in the final 2 weeks. But that is going to scramble some things up quite a bit. Not going to see as many in the Fantasy League under one blanket like that. Me forgetting my head-to-head picks for 2 weeks of the playoffs now. That's tough. Between that and then when I was at Bristol, I couldn't actually submit my lineup because I wanted to take somebody out of my garage. I couldn't remember who it was. Somebody got in a wreck that was on my team or was a lap down for most of the race. And there was no connection at the racetrack for me to get on my phone and plug in the fantasy team that I wanted to have as the race was going on. Points are scrolling across the top of the screen. We'll go over them on our big screen here in a quick second. And I'll state to you guys, who I think is going to make the championship 4 real quick of these 8 drivers going for the championship 4 spots. Of course, if you win, you're automatically in 3 races in the round. At least one driver has to qualify on points, and anybody who does not win of these 8 playoff drivers, that would allow for another opportunity for another driver to get in on points at the end of the finale race in Martinsville of the round of 8. Denny Hamlin, +8, is the number 1 seed above the cut line. That's hard to believe that we have 5 drivers within 12 points of one another around those top 5 positions. I think the top 5 are the clear-cut getaways based off of how the season has performed. I'd probably trust Briscoe a little bit more than Elliott, even though Elliott won a couple weeks ago at Kansas Speedway when it comes to winning the championship itself, because I do think Chase Briscoe and the Toyotas will be better at Phoenix than what the Hendrick Motorsports Chevys will be, in particular with Chase Elliott. I do think Elliott could make his way to the championship 4, but as far as winning the title when they get there, I would probably favor Briscoe a little bit more. Briscoe has won at Phoenix with the next-gen car before, and that was with SHR. We saw JGR dominate the spring race earlier this season, and Briscoe also had a really good run on the flat oval at Gateway, where he finished second, pretty much ran top 3, top 5 the whole race. Chase Elliott, -14 points below the cut line. Again, I think he could get into the championship 4 based on the tracks in this round. They kind of favor up for him. He's been pretty good at Martinsville with this next-gen car. Hasn't won there, but good consistent finishes. I think he was second and or third the last 2 fall races there behind Ryan Blaney. Hasn't won at Las Vegas, probably his weak point, but looked really good on a 1.5 miles with getting a win at Kansas just a couple weeks ago. And also had a win at Texas last season with the next-gen car also. So 1.5 mile tracks maybe sneakily good for the 9 team. But of those top 5 that I think are going to make the championship 4, I don't think you can not have Ryan Blaney with Talladega and Martinsville in this round. Even if he doesn't win, I feel like he would be the one guy that would get in based off of points. I'm taking Denny Hamlin for the race win today, in particular at Las Vegas. So for that reason, I'm going to take Denny Hamlin. Larson has been very consistent throughout the playoffs. He hasn't had the race winning speed a lot of the time, but he's still clicking away good finishes. And if he doesn't get the good finish, he's qualified well, scoring a lot of stage points, and qualified well again this weekend, so give me Larson. Byron's fallen off quite a bit. Give me Christopher Bell for that championship 4 spot, that 4th spot over Byron. He only has to overcome 4 points. 1.5 mile track, although Byron looked better through practice and qualifying this weekend, I don't know. I mean, man, that's probably the biggest coin flip between the 24 and the 20, and it came down to those 2 last year at Martinsville also, within a point or 2 of one another. And I think I'm favoring Bell this year over Byron. The only thing that scares me is Byron looking better this weekend, based off practice and qualifying yesterday. Because before that, I wouldn't have necessarily favored him, based off the speed or the lack thereof that 24 team has had the last 5 or 6 weeks. But I'm going to stick with my gut. Give me Christopher Bell. Troy the Great, thanks for tuning in. Regine Huddleston, welcome to the stream. Should be another good race today. 1.5 mile track's definitely the strong suit with this NASCAR next-gen car. And we saw a great race at Kansas just 2 weeks ago in 1.5 miles, so more of the same I think we're going to see here today. Track position mattered quite a bit in the Xfinity race. It really couldn't get that middle to upper group going. I do think we're going to see a wider lane for the Cup race today. It does seem like these cars tend to widen out around this Las Vegas racetrack. Lower grip level than what we will see at Kansas Speedway by way of tire fall off with the older surface at Las Vegas. So there is going to be more tire wear, which could lead to more pit stops depending on how many natural cautions we see throughout the progression of today's race. Starting lineup for today's South Point 400 at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway will look like this. All JGR front row with Denny Hamlin and Chase Briscoe yet again. It is the 4th time in the playoffs already of the 7 races that both Hamlin and Briscoe have swept the front row. And as for Denny Hamlin on the pole this go-round, 47th career pole for Hamlin. He's looking for career win number 60 still this afternoon. He was very close at Kansas a couple weeks ago. He led the most laps in that race. Christopher Bell sweeping the top 3 spots for JGR in qualifying yesterday. Will be inside of row 2. And Chase Elliott, the winner at Kansas 2 weeks ago, to his outside. William Byron, Kyle Larson, 2 former winners at Las Vegas, will line up in row number 3. Row 4 for Bubba Wallace and Tyler Reddick, the 2311 Toyotas. Joey Logano, last year's winner of this very race, inside of row 5 alongside Ty Gibbs, still in search for his first career win. In row number 6 will be Chris Buescher and spring 2022 race winner at Vegas, Alex Bowman. Shane Van Gisbergen with Ryan Blaney, who are both looking for the first win at the racetrack. SVG, a top 10 at Kansas, first of his oval career in the NASCAR Cup Series, and Blaney had a top 5 run going until a wreck late in the spring race this season. Ross Chastain with Ryan Preece make up row 8, row 9 for Daniel Suarez, Michael McDowell. Eric Jones and AJ Allmendinger round out the top half of the field in row 10. Row 11 for Cole Custer and Carson Hocevar, Zane Smith, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in row 12. Austin Dillon, John Hunter Nemechek, row 13. Row 14 for Justin Haley, Noah Gragson. Behind them, row 15, Josh Berry and Todd Gilliland. Austin Cindric, Kyle Busch starting deep in the field in row 16. Row 17 for Riley Herbst and Brad Keselowski, who is another former winner at Vegas. 3 times, in fact, for Bad Brad. Ty Dillon and Cody Ware make up row 18, and rounding out the field in row 19, J.J. Yaley and Catherine Legg. That is your 38-car starting lineup for today's South Point 400 at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Bill Stegman, also welcome to the stream, going Hamlin for the win. Yeah, Hamlin's going to be my pick today as well. I took him at Kansas. He was very close to winning that race. The Toyotas and Hendrick Motorsports probably going to dominate this race just like we saw at Vegas. That's what we kind of saw yesterday in practice as well. It did look like Hamlin was a little bit better on the longer run pace. Same for William Byron. Those are kind of the 2 cars based off practice alone that had the raw pace coming into today's action. And obviously multiple adjustments will be made with pit stops throughout the course of the race. We're going to see a lot of change in the racetrack. I don't know that we're going to finish in the nighttime skies like we did yesterday, with this race starting at about 2:30 local time versus the Xfinity race yesterday starting 2 hours later than this one. Northeast wind at 6 miles per hour becoming calm. Yeah, a lot more calm than it was yesterday. Winds were 18 miles per hour at the Speedway through practice and qualifying, and even into the Xfinity race under the lights last night. Made for a treacherous turns 3 and 4, which also kind of led to maybe less passing opportunities than what we'll see today with the calmer winds. Sun is shining. It's going to be a slick racetrack, that's for sure. And as usual, should be a fun one. Hope you guys have all enjoyed your Sunday afternoon, because it's time for Sunday evening NASCAR. 4 races to go. Championship on the line over the next month. 8 drivers is what we're down to, fighting for 4 spots to make it to the championship. Denny Hamlin, who comes in as the number 1 seed, 8 points above the cut line, the pole sitter for today's race, about to lead the field to the green. Yesterday in the Xfinity race, the inside of row number 1 was the control lane for the front row all day long. Hamlin elects that same inside lane for this initial start. Launches in the restart zone. Great launch. Green flag in the air. We're underway in the NASCAR Cup Series playoff race at Las Vegas. Great crowd on hand for this one here today as well. Packed on the front stretch grandstands, and as the field rumbles their way into turns 1 and 2, Hamlin well clear of his JGR teammates Briscoe and Bell. Top 3 single file and side by side for 4th up off the exit of turn 2. A few rows of 3 wide and nearly 4 wide in the middle of the pack. Briscoe not going to sit in line behind his teammate Hamlin for very long. Turns 3 and 4, dives to the inside, will make the pass for the lead, and will already have a lead change on the opening lap of the race. Kyle Larson and Bubba Wallace in a side-by-side battle, back half of the top 10, right around 6th spot. Christopher Bell bottoming out on the bottom lane of the racetrack into turns 1 and 2 as he also tries to get by his teammate Denny Hamlin. Hamlin giving up some spots in the early going of the run, maybe better on the long run side of things like he was at Kansas a week ago. Had he not lost time on pit road on the final pit stop with a late caution, might have been able to keep the track position, keep the lead, and not had to fight for it on the final lap from behind like he did. After dominating the race, winning a stage, leading over 100 laps, we'll see if Denny can do more of the same here today as he goes for career win number 60 to put him tied for 10th all-time with Kevin Harvick. That'll be the biggest story of the day to watch, and obviously in his quest for his first career championship as well, a win today would ground him a shot at the championship at Phoenix in 3 more weeks. Chris Davis, also welcome to the stream. He's pulling for Chevrolet. Sarah India, welcome to the stream also. Larson and Bubba still going at it for that 6th spot on the racetrack. 7th, actually. Reddick got by both of them on the opening lap of the race. So 7th place battle between the 5 and the 23. But this time it's the 5 on the bottom and the 23 up high, and it looks like Wallace will win that battle. Larson will have to duck in line behind the 23 car. Only Ford inside the top 10. Joey Logano in 9th. After starting in the 9th spot as well, the only one that started in the top 10. All 4 Hendrick cars in the top 10 with Alex Bowman sneaking in there at the moment. 3 of the 4 JGR Toyotas, and then you got 2 2311 Toyotas and a Ford Mustang of Logano for Penske. So Briscoe's led the first 5 completed laps of the race now. And Denny Hamlin, after being pressured by Christopher Bell on the 2nd or 3rd lap of the race, has pulled away from the 20. And in fact, Bell's actually lost a couple positions over recent laps to both Elliott and Byron for 3rd and 4th. Brett Whitesides, welcome to the stream. Lap 7 this time by at the start-finish line.
It definitely was slow to part out. My bigger concern is this a nagging issue that will continue throughout the rest of the day? Jeff Burns joined us up here in the booth. Jeff, we don't hear a lot of shifting issues anymore with this sequential gearbox. Hopefully it's just a standalone issue for the 11.
Yeah, you hope so, because on restarts, that could be a big detriment. If Denny has to pause for just a second to make sure he gets it in gear, that means he's lost some momentum, and that could be a problem, especially in a late race restart.
And that has happened on the backstretch. I assume, you see him in 5th gear on the telemetry right here, right? That's how they run the entire lap. No real shifting here, I don't think. But on the initial start, you probably don't even get high gear until it exit of turn 2. Not even all the way out of the throttle right there.
Denny Hamlin is in a club of 1 as far as the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. This is his 19th appearance in the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. Is this going to be the time, his time, the year, where he goes to the championship 4 and finally becomes a Cup Series champion? Well, he started today's race as the #1 seed in this, the first race in the round of 8.
"59 career wins. Just remarkable. I know he's always set 60 as his goal, and I believe he's going to have to see 60 to answer your question, Jeff, right? If you want to make the championship 4 and believe you're going to leave this year as a champion, you're going to have to win either in this round or that championship race.
Let's talk more Hamlin with Marty.
Yeah, Lee, the one thing is for sure, you cannot question Denny Hamlin's attitude or his effort here at the round of 8. In fact, this week they did 7 hours of collective sim for an oval. Denny Hamlin never does that much sim for an oval. And Chris Gale was a little surprised because before the first sim session, Denny showed up with a list of 20 questions about things of how they can improve. And then at the end of it, he asked Gale, what can I do? How can I be better to help us as a race team? Jeff, you know it. When you're a driver and you show that level of commitment and that level of being locked in, you can tell Denny Hamlin feels like his championship moment could be right now when he has to capitalize. Yeah, Marty, I also think when you add the age of Denny Hamlin into that, he's still willing to look at himself and say, how can I be better? Right? He's not just taking the stance and saying, hey, at 44 years old, I already know everything. I know what I'm doing. You just need to build me a better race car. He's willing to participate and try to become a better race car driver. But Steve, you can change all the springs and shocks and do all these things, but if the race car driver can find your little speed, there's magic in that.
Absolutely magic for sure. And with this car, there are drivers that have had to change their style to suit the car. It's great to see a kind of an old dog learning those new tricks, right? Not afraid to change.
Back to this fight going on between Chase Elliott and his teammate William Byron and local driver Noah Gregson, doing well here at his home track.
Yeah, it really is. He's picked up a lot of spots since the start of the green flag. 9 spots he's picked up. So, and really good initial start for Noah Gregson. It's got to feel good in front of your hometown crowd, putting on a good show.
Well, he got the week off to a good start because he was one of the participants in Brendan Gorham's Celebrity Blackjack tournament. And he said, I got to beat Chase Briscoe, the race leader. So that was pretty good.
Yeah, third time's the charm. Third time in the event.
Glad he won something in blackjack because I did.
Teammates getting closer now. Hamlin's putting the pressure on Briscoe. Let's go for a ride.
Hamlin's definitely a little bit faster. Oh, cat and mouse game right here, trying to guess where Briscoe is going to go. He does not want to follow him. He wants to be in a little bit more clean air. Briscoe knows that. Briscoe this time to the very bottom. I think if this continues, I think what you'll see Denny Hamlin do is he'll enter a little bit higher. If Briscoe's going to run the bottom, then enter a little bit higher and give yourself, there you go. Give yourself a little bit of cleaner air. Let's see if you can make this work. Try to build some momentum on corner exit.
And you're going to see not only the momentum and the draft come into play as that 19 grows out the front window on board the Toyota Cam of Hamlin. Oh, I like this even better. If he's going to give you the bottom, the shorter way and the clean air.
Briscoe saw him run the top.
15 laps complete in the early going of the race. A little bit of a battle for the lead out in front between Briscoe and Hamlin, though they've been within a half a second of each other this whole race, so this hasn't been anything new. And they haven't really pulled away from those top 5 spots, despite the fact Bell fell back to 5th. He's still only about 2.5 seconds off of the lead. So interval between first and second, 4/10 at the line that last time by. Briscoe leads, Hamlin in second, Chase Elliott 1 second back in third, William Byron 1.4 seconds back in fourth, and Christopher Bell 2.4 seconds off the lead, rounding out the top 5 in fifth. 6th place is Tyler Reddick. Reddick is 4.1 off the lead. Kyle Larson 4.2 back at 7th. Joey Logano 6 seconds off the lead in 8th. Bubba Wallace now back to 9th place, 6.9 seconds back. And Alex Bowman rounds out the top 10. Bowman 7.1 seconds off our leader, Briscoe. First lead change was on the opening lap of the race, where the second place starter, Chase Briscoe, got by our pole sitter of Denny Hamlin. Briscoe has led all 18 laps so far of the first 18 in this race. Stage splits are 80 laps in stage 1, then 85 laps in stage 2, and will take us to the end, 102 laps in stage 3. Fuel window at max, going to be able to go a little more than 60 green flag laps. With the tire fall off, a lot of these teams going to be splitting the stage in half today, 40 and 40 for stage 1 and stage 2. By the time we get the caution laps concluded, then maybe closer to 50-50, maybe on that 47-48 or something of that nature in stage 3. A little bit longer, but not by much. Again, a 400-mile race, 267 laps. Pit road speed would be 45 miles per hour. Got a good battle going on between Reddick and Larson for 6. So Larson putting pressure on the 4. He's starting to open his gap up right now. He's 0.8 ahead of Hamlin all of a sudden. 1.9 seconds ahead of Elliott in third, and 2.1 seconds over Byron in fourth. So 20 laps complete out of 80 in stage 1. Quarter of the way home through the first stage. Fastest lap of the race in the early going was also Briscoe at lap 2 with a 29.394. It's not that far off of his front row lap, which Hamlin, I believe, had a 29.2 in qualifying. Track is going to get quicker as the night progresses, so I don't think that lap time is going to be the quickest for the whole race. It's very possible that Briscoe's the one that tops that lap time, but I don't think that's going to be the bonus point. That bonus point's crucial if a playoff driver gets it. Every point matters. Hamlin trying to widen the groove out through turns 3 and 4. He's about 1.5 lanes to 2 lanes off of the wall, just trying to do something different and try to reel in this 19 car again. Showing a replay of the opening lap to see where Briscoe had a run up out of turn 2 on Denny Hamlin. Hamlin not too defensive with it being the opening lap of the race. Briscoe sailed it off much deeper than him in 3 and 4 and was able to not only get it to stick, make the pass, and Now is starting to finally get away. It took him about 20 laps to really try to break this lead open, but he's out to a 2-second lead now on Hamlin as they cross the start-finish line this time by. One car has just fallen off of the lead lap at the tail end of the field, and that would be Catherine Legg in the 29. The 78. I don't know why I said the 29 car. Forget that I mentioned that. Current points as they run in stage 1 with Briscoe in the lead. If he were to win the race, it'd be plus 19 points for Hamlin based off his running position now, assuming he will finish there for the race and both stages. Same for William Byron, plus 12, and Ryan Blaney, who is plus 2. So those are the 4 drivers above the cut line. William Byron plus 2, excuse me, not Ryan Blaney. Had the wrong B name. Byron sitting in 3rd currently. Reddick and Bell battle for 5th after Reddick has slightly pulled away from Kyle Larson. Larson and Reddick were battling for 6th before the commercial break. Not anymore. Might see some drivers pit early at about lap 35 or so. We tend to see maybe some of the first set of cars to come in. Take fresh tires, try to get that quick advantage. Seen about a 1.5 seconds of fall off already over 26 laps. Nowhere near what it was at the Roval last week, where it was like 5 seconds over 12 laps. Completely different tire this weekend. They don't need the soft tire at Vegas with the more worn out surface. They can run what they usually have, and I wouldn't change anything to the 1.5 mile package because at least that's going right with this next gen car. All right, so I had it wrong initially. Hamlin's plus 20, then Byron plus 13. Larson is plus 1. He's the last driver above the cut line. And then minus 1 for Christopher Bell, minus 5 for Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney minus 11, and Joey Logano minus 27. Only Blaney and Logano, I should say Blaney, is the only driver specifically outside of the top 10 right now, Logano in 8th. Blaney's currently in 12th. Bell's struggling. Yeah, a couple more spots lost. Post-commercial break, Bell's back to 7th. Reddick now in 5th and Larson 6th. SVG still hanging out in the top 15, currently in 15th place. Lead for Briscoe, 3.6 seconds ahead. Kind of reminded me a little bit of his Southern 500 win at Darlington, where he was kind of whipping the field the first couple stages. Got close by the final stage of the race, where drivers and teams are able to, over the course of a 500-mile race at a low-grip racetrack, make enough pit stops and make enough adjustments to catch up, get competitive enough, and put the race on with Briscoe. We'll see if anybody else is able to do that today. Go through the full field running order here before we get into our first pit stop of the race. Again, Chase Briscoe leads. William Byron in 2nd. Denny Hamlin 3rd. Chase Briscoe 4th. And Tyler Reddick rounds out the top 5 in 5th. 6th is Kyle Larson. Christopher Bell 7th. Joey Logano in 8th. Alex Bowman 9th. And Ty Gibbs rounds out the top 10. 11th for Ryan Blaney. Bubba Wallace 12th. Chris Buescher 13th. Ryan Preece 14th. And Shane Van Gisbergen in 15th. 16th is Daniel Suarez. Carson Hocevar 17th. Michael McDowell 18th. Eric Jones 19th. And 20th is Noah Gragson. 21st for AJ Allmendinger. Austin Cindric in 22nd. John Nemechek 23rd. Brad Keselowski up to 24. 10 spots gained for Brad so far. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 25th. Austin Dillon 26th. 27th Zane Smith. Josh Berry 28th. Very unaware of why Josh Berry's struggling. He won the spring race this season, but 28th right now in this fall race. Cole Custer is 29th, and then Riley Herbst 30th. Justin Haley 31st. Kyle Busch 32nd. Todd Gillen 33rd. Ross Chastain already a lap down as he is coming to pit road, so he's 34th. J.J. Haley 35th and Cody Ware 36th. 37th for Ty Dillon, Catherine Legg 38th. So again, Chastain are the first cars on the pit road. We've got several others down there as well. Tyler Reddick is in the pits. Reddick eliminated from the playoffs in the last round. Lap 33 of 267. So this is very on the early side of potential green flag pit stops. So Reddick trying to do what he can to take advantage here. Going to be giving up on the long run for drivers who will stay out maybe closer to 40 laps and split the stage evenly in half. First playoff driver into the pits, Joey Logano. Tim Brown, welcome to the stream.
Joey Logano, Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, all making their first stops of the day. Here's Dylan Welsh. Dylan?
Kyle Larson will be one of the first to make his stops top of the screen. Said he was a little bit tight. They were free in practice, so it's got it on the other side of that fence. Small chance he adjustment on the 5, Marty.
Well, first wave of playoff cars to the pit road. Joey Logano's in a district like I lost overall grip. That's a run went on. The car was bottoming out early in the run as well. Paul will make an air pressure adjustment, trying to help his drivers out. 46 to go here in stage 1.
This one?
Briscoe's still out there on the racetrack. Byron is in the pits. So is Hamlin, Elliott, Blaney, and Bell.
Their stop, William Byron, tight on the bottom. He said overall they're pretty good in terms of balance. You see Ryan Flake right there. He said loose right in the middle, forcing him to run the bottom. He has to be tight that one number, Marty.
Denny Hamlin at the very front end of pit road. You saw them from the longer run. That's what they struggled with in practice yesterday. He said the car was just edgy, and you heard the radio comment. There's no room at the end of that run. His teammate Chase Briscoe, however, has led all three from the pit road to the market for 2-3 off the corner. And he said for way longer than normal, the car was firing out into the run. So see if the 19 can have a clean pit stop here, waiting on the left tail. All this is going to cost another team. There's a long stop here. First stop of the day.
Pretty slow stop for the 19 team there. Chase Briscoe on pit road, 13.6 seconds. Rear tire changer was struggling trying to get that left rear tire on, and at speed is Denny Hamlin, who also pitted a lap earlier than his teammate Chase Briscoe. William Byron, Tyler Reddick, and Kyle Larson all going to get by the 19. So very slow stop. Briscoe gets costed the race lead. Byron, Reddick, Larson are all in front of Briscoe and Hamlin. Top 9 cars still have to pit. Cole Custer of those top 9 just on pit road. So now 8 cars in front of the leaders have to hit pit road. And again, we can go just over 60 laps on a full tank of Sunoco race fuel. And Reddick, despite having a couple lap older tires than Byron, putting a lot of pressure on him. Maybe a good short run car for Reddick. Looking in that middle to upper groove. Byron down on the bottom. Byron gaps him a bit through 3 and 4. Reddick's not going to have a huge run down the front stretch. Five straight top 10 finishes for Byron at Las Vegas. He won the spring race of 2023 at this racetrack with the next-gen car. Brad Keselowski, John Hunter Nemechek are on the pit road. I think Brad Keselowski could be a sneaky good driver by the end of this thing. He gained 10 positions early on in the race before the first set of stops. He's qualified outside the top 30, but he's on the move. Staying out as long as he did now, we'll try to be on the attack again to the end of the stage and maybe pick off a few more. So Carson Hocevar is our current race leader, has been for a handful of laps now during the green flag pit cycling. He's currently led the last 4 laps. Michael McDowell, Justin Haley, all 3 Spire Motorsport Chevys are 1, 2, and 3. And then Todd Gillen 4th, and William Byron, who's first of those that cycle off of pit road already, is in 5th. JJ Yaley still has to pit yet. He's back in 9th. So 5 drivers in total have yet to hit pit road. Byron only 3 seconds off of the Spire cars. Carson Hocevar on his way into the pits. Same for McDowell.
Last weekend, Michael McDowell, top 5 at the Roval. And amongst all the playoff drivers, that was a great run. Kim?
You see Carson Hocevar took his stop on the bottom. He's just losing too much time on the exit. Even him finishing the corner.
Second one of McDowell's service and pulls away. Gillen remains on the racetrack. There's Gillen right there, the 8 of Kyle Busch unlapping himself. 34 trying to get the pit road.
William Byron had to alter his line a little bit. It wasn't too drastic, but Gillen trying to come to pit road a little wide on the racetrack, and the 24 car, after shifting his line, lost a little bit of ground to Reddick. Still about 0.6 of a second ahead of the 45, but Byron will take the lead for the first time today. After the cycling of green flag pit stops, slow stop for the 19 team who dominated the first half of stage 1 before the pit stops. He's 2 seconds off the lead in 4th. Larson 1.7 back in 3rd. Again, 0.6 back for Reddick in 2nd, and Byron leads. Briscoe all over the back of the 5 car at Kyle Larson. 38 laps to go yet in stage 1. Briscoe looking to get one of those spots back. Briscoe's lead was about 3.5 seconds over the then second place Denny Hamlin. And I would assume that 11 team also had a slow pit stop because they pitted before the 19, didn't cycle out in front of him, and they're 3 seconds off the lead now in 5th. Yeah, used to have a bonus point for a lap led. They do not anymore. There'd be some drivers that would stay out during caution, too, just to get the lap led. It was very finicky. A lap led was a lap led. There was no kind of dictating otherwise as to how you led that lap. I did like the extra bonus point for leading the most laps. Penalty for Michael McDowell pitting outside the box. Late call for him to come into the pits with his Spire teammate Carson Hocevar. It was too late that he couldn't get down below the cone. Now, an actual cone, kind of a flat cone on the racetrack, painted, if you will. Have to have all 4 tires below it. He did not have the right side tires below it, so having to come back down at pit road speed for a pass-through penalty. Byron's got 3 seconds now on Larson. Get him that track position. This 24 car is looking as good as he did in practice yesterday. Byron led in the fastest 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30 lap averages in yesterday's practice session. Good on the short run and long run. Didn't qualify as well as the 3 JGR cars that were ahead of him, but great pit stop. Great call by Rudy Fugle to beat the JGR Toyotas into the pits. That also probably got him a 1.5 to 2 seconds of time, and now he leads. And Briscoe is in traffic for the first time today, so having to deal with that. And Briscoe doesn't look like he did when he had the clean air and was pulling away earlier. He's 3.8 seconds off the lead. He was 2 seconds back initially when Byron had retaken the lead when the rest of the cars that hadn't hit pit road did make their way down. Reddick up 6 positions from the start. Most positions gained inside the top 10 for him. Noah Gragson up 11 positions to 17th. Gregson had a top 10 in the spring race with SHR last season here at Vegas. He is a hometown native from Las Vegas, Nevada. Ten spots gained also for Austin Cindric, who qualified deep in the field. Cindric had a great run here in the spring this season. Keselowski up 8 positions. It was 10 before the pit stops, but he stayed out of the pits a little longer, so gave up some time. Ross Chastain has lost 15 positions from the start of the race. He's a lap down in 30th. Tough day for Ross Chastain so far in that one for Trackhouse Racing. Briscoe's been battling with Larson, hasn't been able to get by him. That could be another reason he's losing a lot of time, just unable to make a pass. With his car not being quite as good in dirty air. On top of that, you know, if he makes his pass on Larson, is he going to be able to get back to running quicker lap times than everybody else on the racetrack again? We'll have to wait and see. 31 laps to go at the line this time by, and another commercial break on USA Network. We'll go through the full field running order post green flag pit stop, see where your favorite drivers are running here in stage 1. William Byron leads by 1.1 seconds over Tyler Reddick in 2nd. Kyle Larson is 3rd. Chase Briscoe 4th, and Denny Hamlin rounds out the top 5 in 5th. 6th is Chase Elliott. Christopher Bell 7th. Bubba Wallace 8th. Alex Bowman 9th, and Joey Logano rounds out the top 10. 11th is Ty Gibbs, Ryan Blaney 12th, Ryan Preece 13th, Chris Buescher 14th, 15th for Daniel Suarez, Eric Jones in 16th, Noah Gragson 17th, Shane Van Gisbergen in 18th, 19th AJ Allmendinger, and Carson Hocevar in 20th. Austin Cindric 21st, Zane Smith 22nd, Austin Dillon 23rd, John Nemechek 24th, and Brad Keselowski 25th. 26th is Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Josh Berry 27th, last car in the lead lap. Kyle Busch is the first car a lap down in 28th, and Riley Herbst in 29th. Ross Chastain 30th. 31st for Cole Custer. Justin Haley 32nd. Ty Dillon 33rd. Ty Dillon 34th. Cody Ware 35th. Michael McDowell 36th. JJ Yeley 37th. And Catherine Legg 38th, rounding out the field. 27 cars currently on the lead lap. Kyle Busch, first car a lap down at the moment. Again, stage 1, 80 laps are on lap 52, coming to 53 this time by. John Barber, welcome into the stream as well. Need 100 likes, lots of people watching. Yes, we do have a lot of people watching. We've had about 140 people concurrently in the chat at times throughout the course of today's race. We are already at 60 likes still in stage 1 of this one. Be sure to hit the like button so we can get to that like goal of 100 before the end of it. Now we got 61. You can also vote for who you think is going to win today's race in our chat poll. That will remain open until the end of stage 2. 105 of you have voted already. Kyle Larson at 30% of the votes, 19% taking Denny Hamlin, 11% for Byron. Those are my 3 favorites coming into the race, Hamlin being my number 1. 39% of you say somebody other than those 3 will get the win, and Briscoe falls under the other category. Led a lot of laps early. We'll see if it'll be him. Highest running of the other is actually Reddick in second. Fantasy League's lock up at the end of stage 2. We'll have our diecast showing at that point in time as well. Let you listen into the broadcast for a little bit. I got to go get my water and take a quick bathroom break, so I'll be back in a handful of minutes.
A little bit breezy. Yesterday was flat out windy with gusts up to 30 miles an hour. Today we're about half of that, 15, 16 miles an hour. Hey, Kim Coon, it was a frustrating stop for the 9, and Chase Elliott fans have noticed that he has dropped. What happened?
Yeah, that's right. He entered that green flag cycle of pit stops third. Now ultimately runs 6th. You're going to see this replay here. No major problems in terms of gun issues or problems with the tire changes. He just goes long in the box. So further into that pit box than he had intended, which kind of messes up the choreography of the team. We talk about mistakes being made off pit road. This would be considered a mistake, not hitting his marks. And mistakes are what can lose you a race. They are blown up here and amplified in the playoffs.
Absolutely, Kim. And I will say, not just speeding penalties, but this pit road is known for being slick. For something about the concrete, Jeff, it's almost just slipperier. As you see these guys cleaning the rubber, perhaps from others, they're not allowed to put any chemical down. You can clean with like a brake cleaner you see there, but then a lot of people use like a Coke syrup, like literally the sticky syrup you get in a soda can. They'll just stick a hole in the can, spray it down, and try to get it as grippy as possible. They're very slippery to stop in as well as accelerate out of.
So, okay, so you get by the 19 car. You know, that pit road, when you walk down it, your shoes will actually stick to it. But yes, this historically is a very slick pit road. Briscoe going back at Chase Elliott.
Last couple of laps have been fruitful for Chase. He's got by Denny Hamlin, got by Hamlin's teammate in Chase Briscoe, so making up for those lost positions on pit road, now back up to 4th. So William Byron has a 1.5 second lead over Tyler Reddick. Then Larson, Elliott, Briscoe, Hamlin, Bell, Wallace and Bowman, the non-playoff drivers in 8th and 9th, and then Joey Logano in the top 10.
You want to know how hard cup racing is? Josh Berry won this race in the spring, and he just got lapped. He is running in 27th position, and William Byron just went by him, Dylan.
And so this started yesterday in practice for them. Spoke with Miles Stanley, the crew chief, and he admitted they started a little conservative with their setup due to the Team Penske tire issues at Kansas a couple of weeks ago. They had 2 cars that had tire issues, and they just kind of got behind from there. The other important thing to note is that they're not running well right now. They've kind of been internally assigned to the 12 car, and Brian Blaney is a Team Penske satellite car. So any feedback that Josh has may go towards Jonathan Hassler and Brian Blaney on the 12 team. So good or bad, anything they can provide to that team to help them may be beneficial. So Josh reporting right now that he's struggling through 1 and 2, and obviously some work to do as they did just go like that.
It's interesting how Penske has split up, right? We heard Joey Logano, Cindric is helping the 22 car. But look, they all work together. They all communicate. They all have done a great job. The playoff results speak for themselves and the championships they've won, Marty.
Jeff, we saw the last round when it was cut down at the roll from 12 to 8, where 1 point mattered for this team. Joey Logano in the 22. And just a moment ago, spotter Coleman Presley radioed to Logano, listen, there's 20 to go in stage 1. You are 10th. You have the last point so far in this stage. And look right behind him. Ty Gibbs is catching them very quickly. So Logano going to have to do his best blocking effort with a really tight race car to hang on to that last stage point.
Well, speaking of block, he ran up on the back of the 41 of Cole Custer on corner entry, killed the momentum of the 22, and he is going to have some issues with Ty Gibbs right here, right around the bottom, I believe.
It's been an unusual start, kind of tougher start than what they would have liked for the two Team Penske Ford drivers who are in the playoffs. Logano 10th, Blaney 12th. Meanwhile, teammates in it towards the front of the field. Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson. Look at this. Elliott continues this storming comeback drive.
Won at Kansas. Mentioned that storming drive from 10th to 1st and that short little sprint of a restart.
I still love his line. I still love his line after those final 2 laps, which obviously resulted in him bouncing off Denny Hamlin and winning. He said, I don't know how it was going to end up. I don't know what the result was going to be, but I wasn't going to lift.
Yeah.
That's commitment. Love it.
So an opportunity, he was willing to do whatever it took. Motorsports has to be happy with what they're seeing right now. William Byron leading, Chase Elliott, Larson 3rd, 4th, Bowman in 9th.
The other side of that, a year that they're looking for a turnaround, that 8 of Kyle Busch right here, being passed by Kyle Larson back in 2018. I just can't think of a year where the Las Vegas native, I mean, this is a champion of the sport, and they just don't have it as a group. You know, obviously they don't know what's missing. I don't know what's missing. If anyone knew, they would try to make changes. It's not hard work. I'm confident that the RCR organization is continuing to try to dig down and find something for this driver, but you can just see just the raw speed and grip of that 8 car really not there week in and week out.
He's one of 6 Cup champions in this field. Great to have his big brother Kurt do the voiceover on our opening feature at the beginning of the broadcast.
Saw that move right there from Gibbs. Went to the very top of the racetrack, trying to build some momentum. Down to the bottom. He is trying to pass the most difficult person in racing to make a pass on. Joey Logano is unbelievably good and not making mistakes, putting you in a position that you don't want to be in.
14 to go. And if Ty Gibbs could get that position away, that would stop Logano getting a stage point.
Oh, I'm back. Gotta figure they were going to be going to commercial pretty soon. Just trying to grab my die cast while I was still up as well. I'll have to get back up again here shortly. While I was gone, I haven't really missed anything. Chase Elliott actually got by Chase Briscoe for 4th, it looks like. So there was a pass inside the top 5. Joey Logano might have lost a spot or 2 to Wallace and Bowman. So I believe he was in 8th. Now he's 10th. That was the only movement inside the top 10 spots over the course of about the last 14 to 15 laps. 11 laps to go yet in stage 1 in today's race at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. William Byron 3 seconds ahead of Tyler Reddick at the moment. Kyle Larson 5.5 seconds back in 3rd. Chase Elliott 5.7 seconds off the lead in 4th. And Chase Briscoe rounds out the top 5 in 5th at 6.6 seconds off the lead. But the Blaney hat, I know I'm bad. I've been bad about that lately, about not having my my NASCAR stuff on. NASCAR TV announcing has become all commentary, almost no play-by-play. That's why I'm here. Well, hey, I appreciate that, Dean. I do my best. Connor Burke, welcome to the stream. Kyle Busch for the win. He's got a lot of work to go. Free pass position battle is currently Ricky Stenhouse Jr. First car lap down in 25th. Quite a few cars have fallen off the lead lap already. 10 laps to go now in stage 1 this time by. Oh boy, a couple cars splitting 3 wide around a lapper. Getting dicey. That car in the middle getting split was Catherine Legg, Christopher Bell, Kyle Busch. Busch a lap car, Bell on the lead lap. Hamlin now working to try to catch up to the 20 of Bell. Hamlin's fallen back a bit too because he was in 5th and now he's in 7th. So the JGR Toyota is maybe looking a little worse on the longer run. Oh, problems for Ryan Blaney. Blaney has a flat left front tire. He has smacked the outside wall hard. And that might be the end of the road for Blaney today at Las Vegas.
In the wall. You see the left front flat and flapping. Kim.
Right now, the driver just a little bit panicked. He said the steering isn't working. Everything feels broken. They've kind of tried to talk him a little off the ledge, kind of look at this car, diagnose it before they decide anything is terminal. But we've seen tire issues from the 12 team before, both here and at other intermediates. This could be a day-ending issue. Again, the team looking at that car right now.
Heavy damage on the right side, but the left front being flat. I assume that has to be the cause, Jeb. Let's listen in. You hear it bottoming out. You can hear the left front bottoming out and start slapping up the rubber. So definitely a tire goes down first and then straight up into the wall. The wall, heavy damage to the steering, left front already flat. So I don't know if he ran something over or what the cause was, but the left front goes down and into the wall for the 12 car. He was last on pit road in the mid 30s. So, about 30 laps on that set of tires.
Yeah, he hit so hard, it broke all the steering. It's just a bad break in the first race of this round.
So it's now evident that Ryan Blaney is going to have to do it the hard way to try and make the championship 4. Talladega next weekend, Martinsville the following weekend, to give himself a chance of being a 2-time Cup Series champ. Look at the updated points, bottom left of your screen.
You see Team Penske, Joe Logano came in at 24 below. He's not been able to gain any. Now his teammate has joined him at the bottom with this wrecked race car. Great conversation on top of the pit box. Ryan will have to go to the infield care center to be evaluated after getting out of the race car. Doing a nice job of proposing himself. I can't imagine the world's going to be working in fast forward right here. Just can't believe it, right, Jeff? It's one thing to just not have the raw speed you want, and then they were going to continue to work on it, and they always do. These teams continue to fight and battle, but now he knows he's standing here talking to an official. It's slowly setting in that he, he doesn't know what the number is going to be, but he understands just how much of a setback this is going to be.
So prior to that occurring, I want to show you this, and Jeff, this grabbed our attention big time.
Yeah, you see right here, Hamlin's going to try to get underneath the 8 car of Busch, and Busch just wasn't having it. Completely took all the air off the 11, and he and the 20 almost crashed because of it. Bell sees it happening. Bell goes to the top. Hamlin loses the front end, starts up the racetrack.
Wow.
Look how close that was. Oh.
Curious timing of the yellow. 7 to go, 6 to go this time by. I can't see pit road light. Okay, it's green. Pit road is going to be open. I think obviously every team wants tires. All the playoff cars are to the front. So does everyone pit? I mean, that's the call you want to make. Everybody wants to come down and get new tires, but do you only put 2 on and try to guarantee stage points? So maybe some gamesmanship here on pit road, Kim.
We're going to have to watch closely to the 9 stop as he slid too far into the box. Earlier, hits his marks right there. He said the balance is pretty good, just managing the front tires. 4 fresh Goodyears. You see the middle of your screen, William Byron. He said tight to fire up, but good on the long run. Dylan?
Kyle Larson at the bottom, still battling a tight condition. Cliff Daniels said he did a good job strategizing the run to minimize that problem, but they'll get more aggressive, freeing it up here with the chassis adjustment, Marty.
A little further up pit road, Chase Briscoe said it was better taking off. It just takes 20 laps for a car to come in. You see a few cars flash by the 19, but a much cleaner stop for the 19 bus. But William Byron will win the race off pit road.
No 2 tires. Everybody electing with 4.
This was a hard hit and one that will hurt points-wise big time for the 2023 champion, Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, as a Ryan Blaney fan, that sucks. I was just about ready to put his gear on at the end of the stage. Guess I'm not going to do that anymore. He's out of the race. Dang it. It's going to be a last place finish, too. Nobody else was out of the race before that. That's the first caution of the day, lap 71. And we're obviously going to have a restart here before the end of stage number 2, or end of stage 1. So stage point's going to be on the line. The other 7 drivers in the playoffs are all inside the top 10. Larson, Briscoe, Bell, Hamlin, Logano. Wait for our leaderboard to update because Byron and Elliott aren't scored up there at the moment. Byron had about a 3-second lead when the caution came out with 10 to go in the stage. Ryan Blaney is DNF'd in both Las Vegas races this season now. Of his 8 DNFs. H. Holly D, welcome to the stream. Ethan Chua, welcome in. Easy Network, thank you for watching. Kevin Stallman as well. Many others who I might not have shouted out yet throughout the course of today's live commentary stream. If you're wondering why my Ryan Blaney gear wasn't on, I got home about 10 minutes before I was supposed to stream. Didn't give myself a chance to change. And I was going to change at the end of stage 1, and now Ryan Blaney is out for the race, so I think I'm just going to stay cozy in the flannel I've currently got on. Do I have a Byron hat? No. No, I don't have any 24 car merch. All my NASCAR stuff is either Ryan Blaney. I have one Greg Biffle shirt that probably doesn't fit me anymore because I haven't worn it in years. Got some Dale Blaney stuff too. You serve too. Welcome to the stream. The worst part about it is I'm going to Phoenix for the championship, hoping I could see my favorite driver win the championship in real person. Only ever seen him win one race before. Go figure. This happens. Watch him actually win Phoenix this year while I'm there, but he doesn't win the title.
Gone Celebrity Black.
That'd be my luck.
For over $40,000 was raised to charity. Cup Series stars like local driver Noah Gregson, Kyle Busch, Chase Briscoe, they let the chips stack to support Speedway children's charities. And make sure you stop by the South Point next time you're in Vegas. That's where the races stay. Fun night.
Sound like he said that's where the races.
All right, Jeff, what did you make about the timing of that yellow and how does that impact the field in general?
Well, Steve talked about how the people that are trying to earn stage points, what they were going to do, they pitted. But what it also did was that 11 cars waved around. The 47 took the free pass. So before this caution came out, we had 23 cars on our lead lap. That moved it all the way up to 35. So that could make a big difference when it comes to points if someone has problems late in the race.
Just a reminder, third card on the inside there, just off screen, the 11 of Danny Hamlin had the lead on the original start, couldn't get from 4th to 5th cleanly, lost the lead. We'll see if that's a standalone issue or if we'll see any other. He had no issues on the green flag pit stops, but it would be hard to tell. We'll see right here with them all packed up if he has any issues.
Good shot there of the official pace car for today's playoff race, the 2025 Toyota GR Supra, leading the field to green. They'll come into the Echo Park Automotive restart zone here shortly. Let's see who gets the best jump.
All right, 3 laps to go on the stage this time. Bye. My dog Fulton, welcome to the stream. My wife is going into labor. Should I ask her to hold it so I can finish the race? And she's actually going into labor. Awesome for you guys. I hope the baby is healthy, and I wish you guys the best of luck. I don't know if that would be great timing on you to ask her to do anything but what she is told to do by doctors at this point. Green flag is back in the air with 3 to go in the stage. William Byron out in front of the field. Side by side for second between Briscoe and Larson. Byron's 3-second lead washed away. Can he hold on for a 3-lap green-white checker to the end of the stage? 3 wide the back half of the top 10 right now. Couple 23-11 Toyotas and Bell in the 1-3 wide formation. The other one would be Gibbs, Logano, and Bowman. Near contact between Gibbs and Logano up off the exit of turn 4. Still nose to nose for second. Little contact. just behind them between Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin. On the front stretch as they were side by side for fourth, looked like the 11 washed up into the 9. Maybe tried to side draft one another and made contact. Very odd place for it to happen. Best thing for Byron's that the 5 and the 19 have been side by side this entire time. Hamlin does pull clear of Chase Elliott. Now Briscoe and Larson make a little bit of contact on the front stretch. And that will reel Denny Hamlin back into both drivers as they enter turns 1 and 2 on the final lap of stage 1. Briscoe pinned tightly down to the bottom of the track. Drag race down the backstretch. What a battle all over the place inside the top 10. Stage points awarded everywhere. Hamlin to the outside, gunning it. After Larson and Briscoe, he's not going to have enough of a run to get by either one. Green-white checkered flag in the air for Byron as he wins the opening stage, and by inches, Chase Briscoe, I believe, had second over Larson, but it's scoring Larson in second on the ticker. That was extremely close. I need to see that again. It looked like Briscoe had him beat down on the apron. Timing and scoring does have Larson in second by a nose over the 19 car for second place. That's a 2-point swing depending on where they're going to be at in the standings with one another. Top 5 drivers all in the playoffs in this round of 8. Byron first, Larson second, Briscoe third, Denny Hamlin fourth, and Chase Elliott fifth, then Bubba Wallace in sixth. 7th place in the stage was Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick 8th, Ty Gibbs 9th, and Logano rounding out the top 10. Only playoff driver in the round of 8 not to get any stage points was Ryan Blaney, who crashed with 10 laps to go in the stage while running in 12th after a left front tire, I believe, is what ended up going flat. Hard impact against the outside wall. He was running in the middle groove of turns 3 and 4 when the tire went flat. No way to make the save. So quite a few drivers took the wave around with the caution coming out. Stenhouse was in 25th and got the free pass. Meanwhile, the likes of Josh Berry, Kyle Busch, Michael McDowell, Austin Cindric, Cole Custer, Riley Herbst, Justin Haley, Todd Gillen, Cody Ware, Ty Dillon, and Ross Chastain all took the wave around to get back on the lead lap. They got the quick caution with the stage end after just 3 laps of racing. And now they can pit for their tires during the stage break, while I would assume most of the leaders will stay out, only having 3 laps on their tires. JJ Yeley will get the free pass in 36. He's now back on the lead lap. And Catherine Legg 2 laps down in 37th, Blaney out of the race. So 36 cars on the lead lap to begin stage 2, just over 50 minutes into the race. 2 cautions now back to back here with the Ryan Blaney crash at lap 71. The stage 1 end at lap 80. 6 lead changes thus far, 6 laps spent under yellow and counting as we round out stage 1. Denny Hamlin started on the pole but has not led a lap in today's race. 41 laps led currently for Byron, 35 for Briscoe, who led at the very start of the race. Tyler Reddick had 1 lap led during green flag pit stops, 4 for Carson Hocevar during green flag stops, and 1 for Todd Gilliland. So 5 different drivers have led with the 6 lead changes. Nobody has led more than once.
By the South Point Hotel Casino and Spa, where the races stay in Las Vegas.
Why does it sound like, when he says South Point Casino where the racers stay, with his accent, it sounds like where the racist stays. Does it not sound like that? It sounds like a completely wrong thing.
Watching
Where the racists stay.
teeing off he goes.
It's not a good selling quality.
Exciting. Now it's just hit your marks. You're going to win this stage.
Then there was contact between Denny Hamlin and Chase Elliott. Look at this, Steve.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not sure if Denny thought the 9 was going up, because it's definitely Denny who seems to be changing lanes and gets into that left front of the 9 here on board. Listen, Chase is like, man, what's happening here, buddy? I'm out here. Back half of the field comes to pit road. All the leaders stay on the racetrack, so no big surprise.
While they do that, we'll take advantage, squeeze in a quick break, come back, get ready to fire up stage 2.
All right. I believe pit road was open that last time by. Oh, I lost the chat. There we go. I got the chat back. Them two, I guess. But all of them. Racers and races all stay at South Point Casino and Hotel. Joe Rochester, welcome to the stream. What if it's Denny? Yeah, didn't Denny Hamlin win like 6 figures in a casino when they were in Vegas back in the spring? Didn't he win like $300,000 or something ridiculous? Vegas in the playoffs next year? Well, assuming we have playoffs next year. You never know. I would like to think we probably will, but there's a chance we won't. There's a chance. All right. So the top portion of the field definitely going to stay out of the pits here. You're going to have William Byron in the lead, Kyle Larson second, Chase Briscoe third, Denny Hamlin fourth, Chase Elliott fifth, and then Bubba Wallace in sixth. Seventh place on the ensuing restart will have Christopher Bell, then Tyler Reddick 8th, Ty Gibbs 9th, Joey Logano 10th, Chris Buescher in 11th, and how about Shane Van Gisbergen currently in 12th? Fair Start Productions, welcome to the stream. Watch Elliott and Hamlin crash again. As a Ryan Blaney fan, we need, us Blaney fans need to have at least 3 playoff drivers knocked out of a race between now and Martinsville if he's going to want to have a shot to point his way in. Otherwise, he's going to have to win at either Dega and Martinsville. I mean, all 7 of them scored stage points in stage 1, except for the 12 who's out. It's not impossible Talladega coming up as the next race either. You know, I'm not ruling out that he can point his way in because other drivers can have problems, and he's very good at Talladega and Martinsville. 3 career wins at Dega, and he's won the last 2 fall Martinsville races.
Contact with Denny Hamlin.
Yeah.
Really excited to bring in a little extra security. I'm not a race fan.
Nah, man, it's absolutely awesome, man. My ties in NASCAR growing up right outside Mooresville, North Carolina, stuff like that. Definitely superstar for the last decade. Now my new television show, Everything on the Menu with Braun Strowman, premieres next Friday, October 24th on USA Network, right after SmackDown.
That's fantastic. So what do you think thus far?
Oh, man, I tell you what, if this isn't the heartbeat of America going in right behind us, if this doesn't get your soul fired up, give you goosebumps, I don't know what to tell you, man. That's just what it's all about, baby.
Hey guys, I don't know how things are in the booth, but security's pretty good down here for me.
They're safe in these hands.
He orders everything on the menu. Brad will help him.
Oh, I got his back. Absolutely.
Well, Braun, you've come to a good day. First race of the round of 8. Beautiful day here in Nevada. And we're just getting the field caught up, organizing the field, and we will rip into stage 2.
That stage 1 kind of felt like the early rounds of a heavyweight fight, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like they sized each other up, pushing, shoving, some heavy battles. The playoff cars still occupy 1 through 5. Really, I would say it's kind of status quo, other than the big news you pointed out of Blaney's accident, right? Missing playoff points, or excuse me, stage points was a big hurt. That accident's going to be even a bigger penalty now, seeing how every other playoff driver finished inside the top 10.
For you and Jeff, because of your respective racing IQs and your time, your tenure in the sport, I love listening to your thoughts and opinions. And you felt that you saw something in the 24, and then we all got to hear it for ourselves in the pre-race pep talk. He's got the eyes on today. He's ready to go.
Yeah, I think just the entire group has to find that next level when the stage presents itself. And I think that young driver behind the wheel of 24 is ready to break out of the shell. That type of performance could be today.
All right, Hendrick Motorsports on the front row after finishing 1-2 in stage 1. Byron first, Larson second. Byron taking the inside of row 1. Green flag back in the air. Oh, Byron stumbled on the restart. He got loose after a push from the 19 car. He ended up clipping the grass. Kept his foot in it. And still side by side with Kyle Larson somehow. After getting those left side tires in the grass for a very brief moment. Briscoe now going to try to go 3 wide for the lead after another dive bomb into turn 3. Byron has to wash up the racetrack and lift to give the 19 room to keep from wrecking both cars. Briscoe's into second. Terrible situation there for the 24 as he loses control of the race now after falling out of the lead, and Kyle Larson leads for the first time this afternoon. Larson out in front now. Chase Briscoe second. Denny Hamlin up to third. Then William Byron fourth. And Bubba Wallace slides into the pit spot as he clears Tyler Reddick off of turn 2. And now Elliott to the outside of Reddick into 3 and 4 for 6. Current playoff standings on the restart have Larson with leading the race. Obviously, he would advance to the next round. Denny Hamlin is plus 23 points above the cut line. Plus 20 for William Byron. And Chase Briscoe plus 11. First driver out is Chase Elliott, as well as Christopher Bell, both sitting minus 11 based off their current running position. Minus 32 for Joey Logano and minus 36 for Ryan Blaney. Briscoe, after getting back into second place, and Larson doesn't seem to have the pace that not only the 19 has, but the 24 is starting to creep back in as well. Mayhem in the middle of the pack, 3 wide. Sandwiched in that is Keselowski between Bowman and Suarez. Austin Dillon 3 wide middle between Allmendinger and Eric Jones as well. That's the racing on intermediate tracks on the mile and a halves in the middle of the pack all the time. If you ever go live in person, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Especially on the restarts. And it takes a good 20 laps for them to get situated. Chastain trying to cram his car up the middle now between Austin Dillon and Alex Bowman. Chastain trying to come from a lap down after struggling in stage 1. I mean, it is very tight quarters racing back there around the 1 and the 3. Byron Briscoe front of the field side by side for second. Up out of turn 4, Briscoe to the outside. Byron side drafts and pulls him back. Denny Hamlin in fourth, creeping in on both drivers. Larson still not getting away, even with the battle going on behind him. Byron slides clear of the 19. You can tell he's probably not going to cut him any slack for a couple very aggressive maneuvers by Briscoe on the restart to get by Byron in the first place. Byron ripping around that middle groove of the racetrack, still clear of Briscoe, and a great run after Larson on the front stretch. Doesn't utilize the draft, though. Larson tries to break the draft to the apron through the tri-oval. Into turns 1 and 2, Larson a lane off of the white line. Byron about a lane wider than Larson. And Briscoe goes all the way to the bottom, painted the left side tires down on the white line, and he's back to the inside of Byron for second for a brief moment, into 3, still side by side. Up off the exit of the corner, Briscoe loses his race car just a bit. Denny Hamlin now will go for third after the 19, after a failed pass attempt for second. We'll see if Hamlin can complete the pass into turns 1 and 2. He's got forward momentum. Loses the nose of his car in the dirty air behind Byron. Has a huge lift up out of turn 2. Byron pulls up in front of Briscoe. Briscoe will push him down the back straightaway just to keep their momentum up and stay in the throttle. They'll pull Denny Hamlin and slightly reel in Larson a bit again. Chase Elliott got by Bubba Wallace a couple laps ago for 5th. So now the top 5 reads with Larson in the lead, William Byron second, Chase Briscoe third, Denny Hamlin fourth, and Chase Elliott in 5th. Lap 15 of 85 in stage 2. Briscoe to the inside of Byron for second. These two have had a great battle for second over the last 4 or 5 laps. Briscoe's been close to clearing, but he hasn't been able to complete the pass yet. And that time he couldn't do it in the bumps on the bottom of the track through 3 and 4 yet again. 96 laps complete overall in the race out of 267. So nearing that lap 100 mark. Over a third of the way home. Chase Elliott to the inside of Denny Hamlin for fourth. Looked like he was going to try to make a move to the bottom. Looked like he was going to have a head of steam. I don't know if he lifted on the end of the front stretch. Hamlin threw a block. It wasn't very late. Looked like the 9 was right there to attack. Elliott being a little patient maybe with Denny Hamlin. Long race to go. A lot of laps left yet in the stage as well. I don't know who to give the underdog of the race award to because we have probably Shane Van Gisbergen. The rookie. SVG's up to 10th, ladies and gentlemen. Just got by Christopher Bell and Chris Buescher on the restart, and he's still in front of him. SVG got a top 10 at Kansas, finishing in 10th spot 2 weeks ago. Last mile and a half track, his first career oval top 10 in the NASCAR Cup Series. He had a near top 10 at Richmond. I think he finished top 15 for the first time there. Gateway, I think he had another top 15 run. Top 10 at Kansas. New Hampshire qualified top 10, was running 6th and 7th all the way through stage 1. Then he got involved in a spin in stage 2 that kind of took him out of it. Never got that track position back. So either flashes have been there or maybe not a lot of stage points, but he's getting good race finishing results over the last month and a half or so in the NASCAR Cup Series on the ovals. And his road course prowess is still as high as it's ever been, as he dominated last weekend in laps led at the Charlotte Roval. Ended up winning the race by more than 10 seconds, as he's done 3 times this season of his 5 wins on the 6 road course races. SVG only about 6/10 off of Joey Logano for 9th. Could you imagine if SVG got out of the round of 16? He would have won the Roval and he would actually be in the top 10 right now. He'd be in a better spot than Ryan Blaney, with Blaney being out of the race. And Dega looming, and he led some laps at Daytona in the summer event there. If he could just get out of the round of 16, as long as the Roval stays on the NASCAR Cup schedule, and we still have a playoff format, SVG could compete for at least a championship 4 spot. It's not impossible. He's getting better. Larson's lead now, 7/10 of a second over William Byron. In second, 1.2 seconds to Chase Briscoe in third. Lap 102 in today's NASCAR Cup Series race. South Point 400. For SVG to get that underdog of the race award, he is going to have to finish up about where he's running right now. So far, so good for him. Side-by-side commercial break currently ongoing on the USA Network. By the way, this is the final race on USA Network this year. The last 3 races of the Cup season will be on your local NBC affiliate. Button 1771, welcome into the stream. Lap 24. 7 lead changes. Larson leading for the first time today. 2 cautions. 1 at lap 71 for Ryan Blaney, crashing after a left front tire either came apart or something in the left front broke. Whatever the case is, he had smacked the wall hard in turns 3 and 4, so he is done. Last place finish for him. No stage points with that happening in stage 1. 10 laps spent under yellow between the stage caution and the Ryan Blaney caution. Just over an hour of racing into today's race. Lap 106 of 267 currently. Briscoe and Byron still battling for second on the racetrack. They've been battling for second since the restart. Since Byron fell out of the lead after contact from behind by the 19 out of the restart zone as they were getting up to speed. That allowed for Larson to get by on the outside for the lead. And Larson's not blinking, at least to this point. Hamlin losing a little bit of touch of these top 3 spots. But he's still pulling away from Reddick and Elliott as well. Elliott got to 5th around Reddick. Reddick just got back by Elliott a couple laps ago for 5th. We'll take our first ad break in the stream. You're listening live on KRC to NASCAR Cup Series coverage at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway right here on the channel. So lap 84 of the race. Or sorry, not lap 84. Why did I say lap 84? Because I was looking at 84 likes on the stream. I don't know why I said lap. Lap 108 is where we're at on the race. Yeah, lots of racing to go. Not quite halfway, but we're nearing it. First of 2 streams today, by the way. For those of you watching right now, I will be doing a NASCAR 25 stream tonight after the race. That will be a separate stream from this, and that will be a full race at COTA for the NASCAR Cup Series. I'm racing as Kyle Busch on a season there, trying to get Busch back to victory lane for RCR. 3rd race of the season, Daytona 500. We came so close, finishing runner-up in 2nd. A near side-by-side finish there, and then ended up finishing in 7th yesterday at Atlanta. So, be racing at COTA tomorrow. First road course, or tonight, excuse me. First road course race I'll be doing on NASCAR 25, again, full race, and that will be immediately after the stream. Marty Snyder is caught up with Ryan Blaney outside the infield care center.
No warning. So, left front tire blew into 3, and yeah, unfortunate going home early.
What do you do from now on? I mean, you've won Talladega twice in the fall, won Martinsville twice in the fall. Do you kind of rest on the fact of how good you've been at those 2 tracks, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, maybe look forward to those. Obviously, we have to look forward to them. Not the spot you want to be in. I actually thought we got our car fairly decent there. Just looking forward to keep going and never got it. But yeah, I mean, pretty simple. Got to go win one of the next 2 weeks, and hopefully we can rebound and do it.
They have won, as we mentioned, Talladega and Martinsville twice each before left front takes Ryan Blaney out here in Vegas.
They ejected Ryan Blaney, and you can understand so, being in that points deficit he's in now after a pretty good season. 2nd in the regular season point standings. He ended up with 3 wins so far on the year and out of the race, and probably going to have to get a 4th if he's going to want to make the championship 4. 2 weeks to do it. Again, he's a 3-time Daytona winner. He did win on the last drafting style oval at Daytona. And he's won the last 2 fall races at Martinsville to get him into the championship 4, and races where he pretty much had to win both of those races to get in as well. So, can he do it again? We shall see. Tyler Reddick swinging on by his owner, Denny Hamlin, to make a pass for 4th. Reddick looking pretty strong on the back portion of this run. Reddick was good in this race a season ago. Up in the top 5 before getting in a crash on a restart, which, after spinning down towards the infield grass, ended up barrel rolling a couple of times. Had a flip just 2 weeks ago in the last mile and a half with Zane Smith as well. Hopefully we see a car stay on all 4s today. And Reddick making quick work now of Chase Briscoe in the 19. How about Tyler Reddick coming to life here? Definitely looking like the best Toyota on the long run, at least for this one. Briscoe Hamlin starting to fall back on the long run again, just like they did last run. Briscoe didn't on the first run of the race, but I think that's because he had clean air, and then in dirty air, it seems like the 19 and the 11 seem pretty equal. 45 car looking strong, though, in stage 2. Still looking for his first win of the season. Reddick has not had a winless year since 2021. He had 3 wins in 2022 with RCR. And moving over to 23-11 racing, where he's won at least 1 race in the last 2 seasons. Can he get a win here this afternoon? Reddick has a win at Talladega. He's never won at Martinsville or Phoenix of the races remaining on the schedule in 2025. His Dega win came last year in the spring. 691 career laps led for Larson at Las Vegas. So just 9 more laps led away from 700. And in this racetrack's history with Hendrick Motorsports, it would put him 3rd all time. Speaking of laps led, Byron was able to lead some laps, win that opening stage of the race today, led 176 in his win in the spring race a couple seasons ago. 45 laps led for Willie B so far today. Christopher Bell on pit road, first of the playoff drivers in from 11th place.
Sitters seemed to gain track position in the first stage. Bell's the first of the playoff cars to hit pit road. He said with laps on tires, he actually started to feel okay. We heard report that tight condition that was taking, and especially in the middle of the corner, 4 tires and fuel for Bell.
I think he's kind of forced that.
9.6 second stop for Christopher Bell. Chris Buescher's Denny Hamlin, Chase Briscoe side by side right now for the fourth spot, on the racetrack. Hamlin going to pull clear of Briscoe by several car lengths up off the exit of turn 4. Not much of a close battle that time. Pretty quick stop for Bowman, 9.7 seconds as he was just on pit road. Austin Cindric, Kyle Busch. Ross Chastain, John Nemechek are in. Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick on their way in now as well.
Under that orange box,
and Chase Elliott.
Oh, we have Reddick on pit road, the 11 and the 9, Kim.
Chase Elliott saying the nose is just a little too numb off the wall. It needs a little bit better turn for that Chevrolet. They put on those 4 fresh Goodyear tires, air pressure adjustment, Marty.
And it didn't go as free this run as it did the last one, but man, he is using top of the racetrack to his advantage. It was a late call to get Denny Hamlin to pit road, and Jeff, terrific observation by you. They have made the car so much better for Hamlin. It's been edgy all day long, but Hamlin said the back is in the track much more on this run. And coming down pit road, Kim, he said the car's really good right now.
And Marty, just boost condition for the 24. He said, I'm a little free here, but if you tighten me up, I will be fine. Again, they'll get a little bit more stability, Marty.
Chase Briscoe for things down pit road on the last stop. Remember, they had that rough stop earlier today. From the last stop, though, they gained 2 spots. See if they have a cleaner green flag stop here for the 19s. Briscoe saying I just need a little bit more right rear grip. Meanwhile, during the double said, I'm back where I need to be, but I need the front to work just a little bit more for me, Dylan.
About 13 laps ago, Kyle Larson came on the radio and said, I'm losing the right front. I can feel it burning off. No major concern. They knew this was about when they were going to pit. They will make another chassis adjustment here just to try to help that. Adjustments every stop for the race leader. Go around and change to the side to make it a 4-tire stop and fuel for the 5.
5 up Larson. I'm going to be blending with. We have both Byron and Reddick and Wallace.
And Steve, while you were talking about Kyle Larson, let's talk about his teammate Chase Elliott. Uncontrolled tire. And he's going to have to serve a penalty. He's back on pit road now.
Oh, that is just a...
Wow.
Once again, an unforced error, a mistake by another playoff car.
Hey, big for Blaney.
Pull down pit road.
Big for Blaney.
Continues. Let's see exactly what happens to the 9. He stops in his box. A little long still. That's happened twice. You see the tire rolling to the front. Well, it turns.
Oh, man, nobody even grabbed it. It just rolled all the way.
Well, into the next pit box, and then it takes another crew member to stop it. That, I think, is what triggers the uncontrolled tire when it gets to the point where you need help to stop the tire, and very close call between Chastain.
Nobody grabbed that tire for Chase Elliott's pit crew. It was the pit crew next to his that ended up grabbing the tire, and it was at the front of their box, so that was easily an uncontrolled tire penalty. And for Ryan Blaney fans out there holding on to hope, Chase Elliott is now a lap down. The problem is that there isn't many cars a lap down at the moment right now, but after a pass-through penalty, there is a chance that he may not get his lap back by the end of the stage. Could result in a bad finish. Elliott came in below the cut line compared to Blaney being +6, so that's one guy he could still be ahead of in points by the end of the race. I'm just holding on to all the hope I can. I want to see my favorite driver win a championship in person. I've only ever seen my favorite driver, who is Ryan Blaney, right now, or even Greg Biffle back in the day, win in person once. I've been to 40 to 50 NASCAR Cup races now, somewhere in there. I know it's over 40. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head. I'd have to go back and actually sit down and count them all out. But it's been since 2021, too, so it's been a minute. And I know how good Penske is at Phoenix, and it's the last year of the championship there, and I'm really trying to take advantage of hopefully seeing it happen, which is why I'm going to Phoenix again. And go figure, he had to wreck today. You're going to be salty about that for the rest of the week until he wins at like Dega or Martinsville or something. If Bubba Wallace on the pit road from the top 5.
Yeah, so here comes Bubba Wallace. He said that he had nothing on corner entry and was having to give up a little bit on the center, waiting on the throttle. So they've been pretty happy with their race car. Bubba said the last time down pit road that it was turning a little bit too well. We'll see what they do here. They'll at least change 4 times.
Too well?
That fuel doesn't look like a chassis adjustment, so maybe just air pressure, if anything, on the 23.
9.1 second stop, pretty quick there for Bubba Wallace. That was one of the quickest pit stops that I've seen of any of the drivers that have come to pit road. Cole Custer will pit from the lead, and this will give the lead back to Kyle Larson. So now everybody has made a pit stop through green flag pit stops in stage 2, as we have about 39 laps to go now in the second stage. Yeah, somebody on the 34 team had to grab the tire. It was rolling away. I mean, the fact that nobody even attempted to grab it is insane. Like, you don't see it start to slip away. It's like, oh, somebody should grab that. It's like, no, nobody went out and grabbed the tire. They give him Alex Bowman's pit crew this weekend. Oh, penalty for Bubba Wallace. That's huge. I think he was running 6th place before the pit stop cycled. And that's all on Bubba, speeding, entering pit road for the 23. He cycled out in 12th because he was one of the last drivers to stay out on the racetrack, so he was going to probably get some of those spots back to get back in the top 10, but not going to be the case anymore. Radio communications there at the 23. Nick is closing in on Kyle Larson. Fast pit stop and fast right before the pit stop started for that 45 car. He's about 0.3 of a second off our race leader with less than 40 to go in the stage. Hand out the window for Bubba. Looks like he's going to be coming to pit road this time to serve that penalty. So with Chase Elliott falling off of the lead lap, he's now minus 36. Blaney has bumped up to 7th, minus 31. Logano's still not having a great day. I mean, he's running 9th. He's having a good day, but compared to the drivers who he was already behind in points with, he came in minus 24, so he's only lost 3 points to the cut line, but that's still minus 27. You're looking at Briscoe minus 1, plus 1 for Bell, plus 18 for Hamlin, plus 19 for Byron, and Larson leads. Another thing that could help is if we don't see a playoff driver win this race, if you're a fan of the 9 or the 12. After track position has been lost for Elliott with a pit road penalty and the 12 of Blaney crashing out. Just trying to give fans hope for your favorite drivers out there. Not just my favorite driver, Ryan Blaney, but now we got some of the other ones like Chase Elliott having issues as well. No issues for Larson to this point, though. He leads, although Tyler Reddick not that far behind him in 2nd. Non-playoff driver trying to spoil the party. William Byron in 3rd, Denny Hamlin in 4th, 5th is Chase Briscoe, then Ty Gibbs is 6th, 7th place Christopher Bell, Shane Van Gisbergen in 8th, Joey Logano 9th, and Chris Buescher rounds out the top 10. 10 lead changes in the race so far, 2 cautions. Stage 1 break at lap 80 and the lap 71 crash for Ryan Blaney. No cautions for incident in stage 2 up to this point. All right, well, Reddick is lurking. It definitely looks like that 45 is quicker than the 5. Even still on the short run side of things post green flag pit stops. Larson having to pull out of line early into 3 because of a lap car. Reddick goes to the wall, but the lap car's up near the high side. Reddick's going to lose a lot of time. He was within 2 to 3 car lengths down the back straightaway. Fantasy lineups lock at the end of stage 2. Just a quick shout out to those of you in the fantasy league. Make sure you get your lineup set. We're officially halfway home, lap 134 of 267 in today's race. Hour 22 minutes in and counting. You're listening live, KRC. NASCAR Cup Series coverage continues. Also, be sure to vote for who you think is going to win today's race in the chat poll. That closes at the end of stage 2 also. We'll have the diecast showing at the end of stage 2. And then we will be on to stage 3 to the end of the race from there. Nearing nighttime skies where I live here in Northwest Ohio, but at the racetrack in Las Vegas, still bright and sunny. And another 3 hours of daylight, so I don't think we're going to see any sort of nighttime NASCAR tonight like we did for the Xfinity race yesterday. It started in the daylight hours and ended in the night. Going to see a lot of shade, though, on the front stretch off turn 4. 1 and 2 with some billboards, mostly shaded. Turn 1 and then closer to the turn 2 side, not really shaded much on that end of the racetrack.
Look, we're just going for wins. We want to win. Got so close last week at the Roval. Did Tyler Reddick, but not to be.
Well, you see the jump man on the helmet. The jump man's in attendance. So, you know, we talk a lot about the playoffs, but sometimes I do think they can overshadow what a victory means. Jeff, I look back at my career, your career, like adding another number in the win column would be so important to any of us who no longer have the chance to do it. That if you're Tyler Reddick, I mean, that's basically the goal today. You said it, right? Dip. No longer in the playoffs, but a trophy from Las Vegas will definitely ease the sting if they're able to pull it off.
One of these races is so difficult. I don't know of a driver that would trade a win for another just because everyone is special and everyone is unique.
Tell us more about the 45, Marty.
When I think you look at the final few races of 2025, this is a racetrack that Tyler Reddick and the team certainly feel like they can take advantage of it and run at the top of the track like Reddick can do so well here. That is his wheelhouse. He has made it work. Billy Scott has shown a willingness to come to pit road early and jump people on pit road. This really been a team effort for Reddick, having his best run in a long time. They have back-to-back top 10, but they still don't have that win. That's what they want to get, Lee.
Well, it's a good point because that's on their list. Then just go back 3-4 more positions. Is Ty Gibbs still in search of his first career win? And then you've got Shane Van Gisbergen running in 8th behind Christopher Bell. Chris Buescher is in 10th. And his team boss, Brad Keselowski, is back in 13th. They're okay still looking for their first win as an organization this year.
This race is really interesting to me. And it's crazy, Steve. You'll one lap, somebody will be faster. The next lap, somebody else is faster. It seems like a lot of inconsistency from one lap to the next. I thought Larson was in trouble. He was backing up to Reddick. And then all of a sudden, he just drives away from Reddick. And now Reddick is under attack with Chase Elliott. It's a really odd race in regard to consistency of speed.
.26 to go in stage 2. Time for a Toyota driver update. Let's have a look. Players place pretty easy. Tyler Reddick, we've been talking a bunch about him. Then Denny Hamlin and Chase Briscoe. Top 3 in the Toyota driver update.
To Jeff's point right there, I believe that this track is so gripped up and they're at such a percentage of wide open throttle that the draft is actually in effect. As much as normally we see a car out front thinking it slows them down. But that last lap by Larson flew. And I think it's because the cars in front of him were too wide. And he had this huge, basically, cave of air, this big tunnel of air that he kind of towed his way into. So it's like, hey, I need the help down the straightaway, then get out of my way in the corner so I can have the downforce.
Yeah, and we talked earlier about Goodyear building different tires. I think also the better handling cars, they're the ones that run the best at the end of these runs.
Yeah.
They're the ones that haven't abused the tires as much.
So Christopher Bell is running in 7th place at the moment, Dylan. We saw him pit on the early side of things in this stage. Tell us more.
Well, as we said, they watched Tyler Reddick, or must have watched Tyler Reddick, and then first stage pit early in main spots. That's exactly what the 20 and Christopher Bell did. Pitted from 11, came out once everything cycled through in the 7th spot. So that's something to note for later on. If we have green flag stops, pitting early seems to be the good move if you want to gain track position. Bell missed fronts that his car was good taking off. That's more of a positive sign than a couple of their other pit cycles. So they got track position and a little bit better air once they're further towards the field. So seem to be trending in the positive direction for the 20.
So pitting early is an advantage because the couple lap older tires don't kill you at the end. The risk is very simple. You come to pit road, the yellow comes out. This track, you lose a lap. So that would put you very far behind. So there is a real gamble. Adam Stevens, though, he knows how to do it as well as anybody. You see him there, upper left of your screen, lean back, arms crossed. Checking his driver, watch him go to work.
We covered the troubles on pit road of the 9-car Chase Elliott. Steve did a good job of explaining that Chase Elliott's job now is to be the first car a lap down. Well, here Kyle Larson has started lapping race cars. He just got by Josh Berry. Now he's getting by the 34 of Todd Gilliland. Now Todd Gilliland is the first car 1 lap down. Chase Elliott's got to go chase down Todd. So every single time the 5 gets by a car, the 9's got to get by him as well. These are going to be an intense 20 laps for Chase Elliott.
Chase is trying to do it with Reddick breathing down his rear bumper. It's not for position, but position off the racetrack. Still track position. It'll make his job harder if he gets in front of him, right? Because then he'll have more distance to the leader, or at least the second car.
And now Reddick's gone to the very bottom of the racetrack. I also wonder, Steve, I see cars rip the top and then really go good for a few laps. Then it seems like it doesn't work as well.
Yeah.
Like when you first go there's a lot of grip, and then it seems to fall off.
We've seen this, though, with some of these tires that slow down not because of wear, but because of heat. So, Jeff, I wonder, you run the bottom, maybe it just heats the right front up. You go run the top, it cools the right front, heats the right rear. Like, you almost have to kind of move your lane to keep letting the tire breathe. You can't just continue to beat on the same tire every lap.
Same Goodyear tire package that we saw at Kansas 2 weeks ago. So there's some good knowledge across the teams with how that tire performs. Of course, different track, different circumstances.
Now, if you're Chase Elliott, what you really want to do is get up here and pass Kyle Larson and put yourself back in the lead lap without having to get that free pass. This is a major difference between restarting a lead lap car versus starting a wait around car. The wait around car got to start in the tail end of the longest field. You're back in the lead lap, but the track position you give up is huge. It's a major difference. Chase Elliott wants to get by that 5 car for sure.
How much is this traffic going to help? Because Larson's got 3 ahead there that he's got to get through. Meanwhile, Chase Elliott is zeroing in on the back of Gilliland to try and get by him to put himself first in line to get that free pass. It's all about the quest to become a NASCAR Cup Series champion. We're fortunate enough to have 6 champions in the field. And let's talk about some champs. We kick it off with Kim Coon.
Yeah, Chase Elliott, the 2020 champ, and no reason to believe they couldn't make it a 2-time champion this year, at least make that championship. Talked to Richie Allen this morning, and he said this round with its tracks this year actually shapes up a little better for us than years past. And he said even with Sega and Martinsville, he thinks we're strong there. This race was their biggest concern. Historically, Vegas has not been great for them. Only 1 top 10 in the last 5 that came in March, where they finished 10th. But he said Kansas gave us a really good perspective. We knew where to start. We were optimistic. Now, the car's been solid, Marty, but Kim Road has not. Remember, he was long in the box. Now finds himself a lap down after that uncontrolled tire penalty.
Runner trying to win his 4th championship this year, Kim. He said earlier the car definitely fired off better this run, but I can hang, and that's it. Meaning I can hang in the back half of the top 10. So don't count out Paul Wolf trying to play some strategy in stage 3, maybe running a little bit longer than the other cars, hoping to catch a caution, but certainly doing something different than those top 5 cars, because so far, Logano's been in the back half of the top 10, Dylan.
Well, Marty, how about an attaboy to the 2012 champ, Radcliffe last week, in Corbin, spoke to Jeremy Holman, who's crew chief, just said that they were way too tight qualifying, made some big changes overnight, and those were definitely positive changes. He's still fighting dirty air right now, and the latest report is that he's using rear grip as this run goes, but he is putting in an early candidate for hard charge for the day from 34th to 12th right now for Brad Kay, and they are showing no signs of slowing down. He's on the move for the 6th car.
Keselowski having a great day.
By his teammate and employee Chris Buescher to be that lead RFK Ford. 13 laps to go here in Vegas. The South Point 400 continues.
Yep, 13 laps left here in stage 2. Kyle Larson with a 2.5 lead over Tyler Reddick. William Byron 2 seconds back in 3rd. Then Denny Hamlin 3 seconds off the lead in 4th. Chase Briscoe 6.2 seconds back in 5th. 9.5 seconds back in 6th is Ty Gibbs. 7th place is Christopher Bell, 11.3 off the lead. 11.9 back for Joey Logano in 8th. Shane Van Gisbergen in 9th, 13.6 seconds off the lead. And Alex Bowman, 14.5 back, rounding out the top 10. 25 cars on the lead lap. Todd Gillen in 26 is the first car. 1 lap down right now. Biggest movers since the beginning of stage 2. 12 positions gained for Chastain to 20th after being a lap down at one point in stage 1. Got the wave around with the Ryan Blaney caution. Stayed on the lead lap, so he's trying to move forward. Brad Keselowski up 11 more spots to 12th after starting 34th earlier today. Long, hard grind for Keselowski. Great job done by the 6 team to get them to where they're at now. Maybe they can actually get a top 10 by the end of the next stage. Larson was under pressure from Reddick for a few laps after the green flag pit stops. But over the course of the long run, it does look like the 5 has been a bit better. Reddick was a 10th quicker that last lap in traffic compared to the 5. So maybe variable lap time changes amongst the 2 of them. I still believe that Chase Briscoe has the fastest lap of the race with a 29.394 back on lap 5. So he has that bonus point. Chase Elliott, remember, trying to race his way into the free pass position after a penalty earlier in the day. He's 26th, and he's not that far off Austin Cindric for 25th, as he actually just made a pass on him for that spot. So Chase Elliott up to 25th place. Obviously, if anybody else goes a lap down before the end of the stage, then he would have to pass that next car. Currently, Michael McDowell, last car in the lead lap, 30.7 seconds off the lead the last time by at the line. If I'm Larson, I don't care that it's a teammate. That's a competitor for the race win today. I think he got to lap as many cars as he can and try to keep the 9 car back. I mean, Elliott was top 5, top 10 the whole race. It's going to be tough for Elliott to pass that many cars on the final stage, especially if he have another long green flag run like we've had for the most part today. 71 lap green flag stretch, the longest of the race so far. This one would be 78 laps from the restart to begin stage 2, to where we're at the end of the stage if it did go green for these last 6 laps. 7 to go in stage 2 right now. Byron's getting a little bit closer to Reddick by the end of this run. Chase Elliott looks like the fastest car on the racetrack. He just outright passed the 24 car. He's gaining on the 45. Look at the lap time for Elliott. Larson's last lap was a 31.418. Reddick at 31.36. Chase Elliott ran a 31.525, so a little bit off of Larson, 10th off that last time by. But the way he's passing cars inside the top 4, top 5 positions, he's looking pretty good. Can't count him out of it if he gets the free pass. See if Michael McDowell's gone a lap down yet or not. He has not. So Elliott's still in the free pass position with 3 laps to go in the stage this time by. Two-second lead for Larson. 2.8 seconds to Byron in 3rd. Reddick in 2nd place still. Bubba's even faster. Yeah, he had a speeding penalty in this stage. Problem is he was behind Elliott, and I think that's why he hasn't caught him yet. Yeah, 31-1. Bubba Wallace is the fastest car on the racetrack right now by a lot. Bubba Wallace about 2/10 quicker a lap than our leader Kyle Larson, but he's too far behind to catch Chase Elliott for the free pass position, so it's going to be very tough for that 23 team to get back on the lead lap. Both Elliott and Bubba were 5th, 6th, basically most of this race. Elliott was as high as 3rd at one point. I think Bubba was as high as 5th in the race. So definitely have good top 10 speed at the very least, borderline, if not top 5 speed. And Bubba turned it on in stage 3 at Kansas. So kind of a similar race today where they've gotten that car better and better as the race has gone on. Final lap of the stage this time by. Larson's about 3 car lengths off of Michael McDowell in the 71. If McDowell loses this lap before the end of the stage, then Chase Elliott will not get the free pass. I don't know that Larson's going to try to get after him, though. Doesn't look like he's really backing off of it any because he's still growing his lead over Tyler Reddick. Larson dives at the inside of the track through 3 and 4, but he's still going to be about a car length off of McDowell's back bumper as they exit turn 4. So Chase Elliott is going to get the free pass at the end of stage 2. Kyle Larson will win the second stage today after stage 1 was won by his teammate William Byron. Tyler Reddick in second, then Byron third, Hamlin 4th, Briscoe 5th, Bell 6th, Ty Gibbs 7th, Alex Bowman 8th, Joey Logano 9th, and Carson Hocevar rounding out the top 10. First time Hocevar has cracked the top 10 today. Just over 180 of you watching in today's live commentary stream. Greatly appreciate everybody tuning in throughout the course of this race. Be sure to hit the like button on the stream if you haven't done so yet. We're at 91 likes on our goal to get to 100. We'll close the chat poll off at the end of stage 2 here. Let's see. 193 votes were casted, but only 92 likes. Definitely hit that like button. It helps the engagement on the channel, helps grow the channel out a ton. Subscribe for more NASCAR content if you're new as well. Live commentary streams like this every NASCAR race weekend, and we have NASCAR 25 every day on the channel since that game has released a couple days ago, at least with the Gold Edition and pre-order. So looking to play some of that later tonight, by the way. We will be doing NASCAR 25 after the conclusion of this race on a different stream. All right, so the chat poll, 41% of you voted for somebody other than Larson, Hamlin, or Byron for the win. Hamlin was 4th, Byron 3rd, Larson 1st. Larson had 29% of the votes, 15% for both Hamlin and Byron. Time for our Stage 2 diecast showing in today's race. Figured, they're out in Las Vegas. Let me pull out a Las Vegas native. Here's Kurt Busch in a 2004 Irwin Tools paint scheme from his championship-winning season. It's actually got a Nextel Cup Series Championship logo on the deck lid of the race car as well. I always like the Irwin Tools paint schemes. I don't know why. It just felt like it popped well on a race car. Really, Busch in this 97 car had a couple good schemes. I really like the Rubbermaid scheme. The Sharpie scheme back in those days as well. The Irwin Tools scheme that Jamie McMurray had with the 26 car, and even one that Christopher Bell's had in recent years. Hasn't ran it in a couple of seasons. Some of my favorites, sucker for those yellow and blue schemes as a Michigan Wolverines fan. I mentioned that time after time after time, but like that paint scheme and made sure to get it. Helps that it's a championship-winning diecast, too. You serve 2's favorite driver. There you go. Yep. I don't have a Kyle Busch diecast yet. I know. I should have one, but I don't. I should be leery on supporting the Michigan Wolverines after getting their asses handed to them last time by USC. At a former NASCAR track, the LA Coliseum.
Auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. Visit progressive.com. And by South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa, where the races stay here in Vegas. Speaking of that, in addition to being avid supporters of NASCAR, South Point Hotel and Casino are leaders in the Western lifestyle community, hosting over 42 weeks of equestrian and rodeo events every year. Earlier today at South Point's Victory Lane fan activation, World-renowned Budweiser Clydesdales were on display along with 3 of the best professional rodeo cowboys promoting the National Finals Rodeo coming to Vegas this December. Your next trip to Las Vegas, stay where the races and the cowboys stay. That's at the South Point. Here we go. Welcome back, Lee Diffie, Jeff Burton, Steve Letarte, and Kim Coon standing by on pit road. It's got active all of a sudden, Kimmy.
That's right. William Byron pocketing the second most stage points today. He said he struggled when he would catch cars, little lazy with the front end this run. So Rudy Fiegel telling him that they were going to just free him up. He did a tight bit. Dylan.
Kyle Larson, middle of the screen, still has been tight and sliding the front tires. Cliff Daniels said, we've got to keep being aggressive, freeing it up. They're planning 2 stops ahead with their next adjustment. The first adjustment, something Kyle could do in the car, Marty.
Best long run speed of the day for Denny Hamlin. He's at the corner, circling around the to Chris Gale. You need a better driver just a little bit because I'm just not timing things very well. Speaking of timely pit stop for the 11 months, taking the spot here on pit road, Lee.
Good stuff, Marty. Larson stays ahead. Hamlin was able to jump on, so too his teammate Briscoe.
Safe flat repairs. Safe flat repairs. We'll have to wait for a leaderboard update to see exactly what the top portion of the running order will look like following the green, or not green flag pit stops, but pit stops under caution here for the stage 2 break. Lap 165. Just less than 100 laps to go when we get back to racing here in stage 3. You're listening live on KRC to our NASCAR Cup Series full race coverage, the South Point 400 at the Kansas Speedway. Not Kansas, Las Vegas. Las Vegas Motor Speedway. There we go. Wrong track. Wrong track at first. Better to have that mistake during the caution. USC, aka Spoiled Children. University of Spoiled Children. That's funny. What's a UCLA fan? He's in North Carolina. Hey, they had a great basketball program for a long time. So if you're a basketball fan, then I can see why you'd be a UCLA Bruin fan for a while, especially back in the 80s. '70s. Pistol Pete Maravich, right? Didn't he go to US or not USC, UCLA? That was in the 70s. Way ahead of his time. He was like the Stephen Curry of the 1970s before, well, like 50 years before Steph Curry came along. He went to LSU? Oh, I had that wrong. I remember him being in gold colors. Seeing college highlights a long time ago. Geographically, I wasn't close at all, though.
And an Olympic silver medalist from the U.S. and around the world, as well as many Division I collegiate national champions, and will look to build on a successful inaugural season in 2025. USA Network coverage will be on Wednesday in prime time, starting January 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern, and leads all the way to the championship match in April. What an afternoon here in Vegas. Beautiful weather, ideal to go racing. How the table's been treating you this week, Stephen? Well, fun. Well,
Had a great time.
well, like it was fun.
The city's so much fun. There's always so much to do, and I think that's really the point, right? It's just a great race. Fans all the time say, "Hey, what race should you go to?" And I always say, like, the tracks. give
John
you a
Wooden,
different
that's
thing,
right.
Each city gives you a different thing. So, like, what fits you the best, right? So a little bit more trouble with our playoff drivers. The driver of the 22 lost some spots. Marty, what was up with Logano?
Well, we'll check on the pit stop, Steve, but remember we talked about how he said he went way loose at the end of that run. So Joey asked on the radio to Paul Wolf, how's the right rear? Right rear's fine. The right front, however, is not fine.
Wow.
Cording on the inside of the right front for Joey Logano. Pretty significant cording all the way around for Joey Logano. So one thing that could have played a factor in Logano's stop and definitely did in Denny Hamlin's stop, the sunset here at Vegas. Denny Hamlin talked about it on the radio. Listen in.
I got looked confused on where my box was. Box was there because of the filling light. Just make sure you're waving that thing so I can get my depth percentage. Yep, will do.
So, Jeff, that's interesting. Never heard of the sunlight kind of affecting pit road here at Vegas, but it's definitely setting going into turn one and down pit road.
What makes it really difficult, especially Denny Hamlin, he's got the best spot, but see the sun shining right in his eyes. The advantage Denny has, he has no one in front of him because he's qualified on the pole. He got to pick that pit area, but imagine being back in the pack, having to go around another car, having a car in front of you. It becomes very challenging for those guys. Sunset's here about 6 o'clock.
If you're a Team Penske fan, you'll be celebrating on one hand because yesterday at Road Atlanta, the annual Petit Le Mans 10-hour endurance classic, Team Penske clinched the GTP title in the IMSA WeatherTech Sportscast Championship. So they're happy on that stance. But here in the Cup Series, it's been a tough day. Ryan Blaney crashing out in stage one. Austin Cindric has been having a bit of a rugged day. He's been back in the pack, back further than where he usually is. And Joey Logano is in 16th at the moment.
Well, yeah, he came down pit road inside the top 10, but a 12.3 second pit stop has now relegated the 22 deep in the field outside the top 15. So his work cut out for him. And real quick on those cords that Marty showed, 96 laps, 95 when they take the green. So you're going to have to run longer. You see right there, driver time a little off, crew time a little off, but total time, big difference between the 5 and the 22.
We talked about Chase Elliott. He did get back at the lead lap because he was the first car one lap down. But look where he's restarting all the way at the back. The 4 cars behind him electing to start behind him, but he has a lot of ground to make up.
Roaring out of the Echo Park Automotive restart zone. Hamlin is all over the back of Larson. He goes 5 Reddick.
That is a mess in the middle of the pack.
What a day it has been for Kyle Larson. Can he lock himself into the championship 4 in less than 100 laps time?
Christopher Bell with an aggressive move.
He's on the inside of William Byron. Byron comes back in that green, white, and black Chevy for Hendrick Motorsports. Reddick is in the mix. He returns the favor to his boss. Reddick second and looking to go one better and take the fight to Kyle Larson.
Christopher Bell has picked up 3 spots on this restart. Now being put 3 wide.
Hamlin's been pushed up high. William Byron down low. He's really forcing the issue with Christopher Bell.
Oh, Christopher Bell gave him no room whatsoever. Talking about William Byron, he put his door right on William Byron's door. Christopher Bell, what a restart.
Ty Gibbs, nicely in the mix as well. That bright green Ally Chevy for Hendrick Motorsports of Bowman is in there. Keselowski has worked his way into the top 10. What a day for Brad, up 25 positions from the start of this race. What do you see that you like, Steve, early on in stage 3?
Well, I think you saw the fire-off speed of the 20 has definitely recovered his position, got him all the way up to 3rd. But I think Reddick is the one that just continues to roll forward. Look at that entry speed on the 45. Gets all the way to the rear bumper of the 5. He's trying to get that pass done before the 20 gets him. On the bottom, you see the 9 of Chase Elliott trying to work his way through traffic very gingerly. Up to 24th, now 23rd. So the 9 has decent speed. He just has to be very patient.
Top box, Christopher Bell has come into this shot. The 20, the Ream Toyota, running 3rd. What can Reddick do about Larson? And are we going to see a non-playoff driver take the opportunity away for a playoff driver to go straight through to the championship 4? That is always living in the back of their minds, Jeff, isn't it?
Oh, it really is. I mean, just think about Christopher Bell, how much emphasis he's put on winning in this round, winning this race, as a matter of fact. Felt like he had a good chance to win the championship last year. Had this race kind of wrapped up. But Joey Logano and his team found a way to win it, and Christopher Bell did not. And then he did not advance with a chance to win the championship in Phoenix. And he has said ever since then, when you come to this race, you better win it.
Well, that begs the question with 89 to go. What are we getting ready to see? Will this be a straight green flag run? And will it come down to the timing of the final pit stop? Will we have an ill-timed yellow, which will force these teams to become, a little bit more strategic and break this up a different manner? Kim, how about the 9 of Chase Elliott slowly recovering up to 23rd?
Yeah, back on the lead lap, getting that lucky dog. This car has been solid. That last run, it's goes up 2 down off the wall, and it chassis adjusted at the end of that last stage. Now, they wanted to keep him on offense all day. The mistakes they've made on pit road, though, now he's had to play a little bit defense, but Chase Elliott hoping to move through the field, Marty.
Joey Logano's slow stop last time. Checked in with Paul Wolf. It was slow on the right rear for Logano. Restarted 16th. Fell back actually a couple spots now. He's getting back up to 16th. But Steve, you got to believe this might force Paul Wolf's hand to try something, anything here in stage 3 to get his driver back in the top 10.
So Larson leads this race. We'll go through the full field running order early in stage 3. Lap 181 of 267. Larson again out in front. William Byron second. Those were the 2 stage winners today. Byron stage 1, Larson stage 2. Tyler Reddick is in 3rd. Denny Hamlin 4th. Christopher Bell 5th. Hamlin was the pole sitter. Chase Briscoe in 6th. Ty Gibbs 7th. Alex Bowman 8th. Carson Hocevar 9th. Brad Keselowski 10th. Then Chris Buescher 11th. Kyle Busch 12th. Wow, great comeback for Kyle Busch. Up to 12th. He was a lap down in 28th at the end of stage 1. Austin Dillon, 13th. 14th for A.J. Allmendinger. 15th, Joey Logano. Shane Van Gisbergen has fallen to 16th. He lost 7 spots on the restart. I was going to say he was up in the top 10. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 17th. 18th, Zane Smith. 19th, Michael McDowell. And 20th is Noah Gragson. Riley Herbst, 21st. Chase Elliott, 22nd. Ross Chastain, 23rd. Daniel Suarez, 24th. And Eric Jones, 25th is the last car currently on the lead lap. Austin Cindric, first car lap down at the moment in 26th. Then Ryan Preece, 27th. Justin Haley, 28th. Todd Gillen, 29th. And Bubba Wallace, 30th. 31st, John Hunter Nemechek. Josh Berry, 32nd. Cole Custer, 33rd. Cody Ware, 34th. 35th for Ty Dillon. J.J. Haley, 36th. Catherine Legg, 37th. And Ryan Blaney, 38th. Blaney's still the only car out of the race. So Blaney out of the race. Minus 34 points below the cut line. Logano, after fading back on that last pit stop under the stage 2 cautions, minus 36. Minus 29 for Chase Elliott. Minus 5 for Chase Briscoe. Christopher Bell is the last driver in. Plus 5 points above the cut. Larson leads. If he wins, he is in. Byron currently in 2nd, obviously, and Hamlin running 4th. Decently above the cut line for both those drivers at the moment. For some reason, not showing it on the playoff graphic at this point. I wish they'd show all 8 instead of just the bottom 4 and whoever's on the cut line bubble, because I can't imagine that Hamlin and Byron are that much further ahead of Bell. Maybe in the teens, but it's not a lock by any means. Because Briscoe's had a really solid day today, and he's still minus 5. Top 5 in both stages. Lap 186 of 267 in today's race. 12 lead changes, 3 cautions, 2 stage cautions at lap 80, lap 165. The Blaney crashed at lap 71. The only 3 yellows so far. 16 laps spent under yellow amongst those 3. 3/10 of a second lead for Larson over Byron. Fastest lap of the race is still Briscoe, although other drivers have put lap times close to that. Briscoe's 29.394, still the fastest lap. Larson at lap 174 at the beginning of stage 3 here. Put down a lap of a 29.408, which is within a couple hundredths of that lap Briscoe put at lap 2. The lap sled sheet, Kyle Larson has led for 95 laps so far today. That's over 700 in the Las Vegas track history for him. William Byron, 45 laps led. And again, those were the 2 stage winners. Briscoe led the first 35 laps of the race. Our pole sitter, Denny Hamlin, actually hasn't led at all today. Or, sorry, he led one lap, but it was during green flag pit stops. Also during green flag stops, Tyler Reddick was able to lead. 4 laps led for Hocevar during green flag pit stops. Same for Todd Gillen, who led 1 lap early in the race. Bubba Wallace led for 5. And Cole Custer for 1. Wallace a lap down because of having a pit road speeding penalty under green in stage 2. So that's why he's back in 31st. Got to catch back up to Cindric if he's going to want a shot to get back on the lead lap. Commercial break currently ongoing on USA Network. Top 4 cars are really under a blanket right now. Really top 5. Top 5 cars are all within a second of the lead. Larson is not getting out and away with this thing right now. Byron's putting a lot of pressure on him. In fact, on the front stretches, Larson again continues to try to break that draft before entering turn 1. Byron up off the high side trying to get a run after Larson not going to have anything here. Now Byron to the top side of the racetrack. Larson a lane off of the wall, giving Byron a little bit of clean air. Battle continues. Down to 77 laps to go in the race. Just over 200 of you in the chat. We did hit our goal of 100 likes so far, but be sure to hit the like button so we can try to get as close to 150 as we can now. We're at 106 currently. Subscribe for more NASCAR content like this every NASCAR race weekend. Cup, Xfinity truck races all right here on the channel. Minus the Phoenix finale this year because I'll be in Phoenix for the championship, but we still got 2 more weeks of live commentary coverage. A ton of NASCAR 25 coming up on the channel. We've done 2 live streams of that, full races. Doing a season racing as Kyle Busch. You guys voted for me to race as Busch for that season, so it's going to be a tough one. And 2 top 10s to start the year. Pretty solid start. Heartbreaking loss at Daytona in the 500. I got passed on the final lap, finished 2nd. And then 7th place run after only leading a few laps at Atlanta in race 2. We'll be racing at COTA tonight after the NASCAR Cup Series race concludes. And that will be on a different stream from this one. Safe travels at Phoenix. Well, the good news is that I'm flying, so for the safe travel side of things, it's not up to me to decide. I haven't got my plane ticket yet. I actually have to update my license to make sure I can fly. I got to go to the BMV tomorrow. And then I can go get my plane tickets after that.
Running deep into the afternoon, and
I haven't flown in like 3 years.
Cup Series playoffs continue in Vegas. The South Point 400. Time to take a look at today's lap leaders, brought to you by Safelite. Kyle Larson remains out in front. He's led 101 laps. Do you know that he's won here 3 times? He's never lost when he's led more than 100 laps. He's 3 for 3. He's perfect in that regard here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Does he make it for today and lock himself in to the championship 4?
We've had a lot of conversations of what has happened to the 5 over the summer, really since May on. They've quieted down. Cliff Daniels just not gone into detail, but he said the team has been through a lot of personnel stuff, a lot of things working, challenges away from the racetrack that they've all dealt through. He's been very proud of how they kind of circled the wagons, all took care of one another, got through those moments. And Jeff, this is back to Kyle Larson that we know, and no better time than now in the playoffs. But it's not just a good 5 car. It's this lap leading 5 car. There is Cliff Daniels right there, the general of the ship. Does an amazing job leading this crew. It's clear who's in charge on the radio, who's in charge of everything. He knows the talent he has behind the wheel of Kyle Larson. And this is the form that Rick Hendrick, Jeff Ford, and the executives are definitely excited to see.
I'd say the same about William Byron, right? Where did the speed go with William Byron? He would, haven't seen that compared to what he had earlier in the year. And here they are, right at first, second.
I saw that youthful Jeff Burton at the bottom of the screen. I did.
See that?
I did.
I missed it. What was I doing?
Jeff was,
you were
Jeff
good.
was
It was a
talking,
positive.
trying to not get us to draw attention to
He
it.
did. He did. We're gonna put it back in here, and we're gonna really make a point.
Got that report from Marty that we saw the the replay of the 19 having contact with the wall in the last couple laps. He's lost a couple spots. Gibbs got by him. Bowman just got by him.
So, Jeff, the challenge for the 19 is if the toe is knocked out, not only could it hurt the speed of the car, but maybe it's hurting tire wear as well. Well, we've seen a bit of tire wear, and toe's not a thing you're going to fix. Not running 8. You know, I just don't see it. I think you're just hoping maybe to break this up into shorter runs.
Because this,
Smallest things.
look at this. Side by side, co-owner and employee. Remember that dramatic finish at Kansas where Denny Hamlin and Bubba Wallace got together and up into the fence went Bubba. Now here's Hamlin and the other driver from 2311, Tyler Reddick, one of the other two drivers, I should say.
What does that have to do with this battle?
Denny makes that stick.
Oh!
Reddick switches back to the low line.
Oh, my goodness.
What a scrap this has been, Jeff.
Yeah, they're going at it. This battle in the top 6 has been like this all day. Denny Hamlin's going to get this spot, though. Momentum down the back straightaway. See if Reddick can send it and with enough speed into turn 3. Hamlin's going to have the right momentum on corner exit.
Who does the 20 go with? Because I think there is a little bit of a draft help of who he pushes. Pointed up top, now that's at the bottom. Man, this place is fast.
It's so fast.
Hand out the window, just acknowledging. But these guys here that you see behind Kyle Larson, they all have a story of surging and then dropping back, surging, dropping back. Larson started 6th and has only gone one way. He went to the front on lap 174. Pardon me, well before that. He's led for 108 laps. When he went to the front, he's just stayed there, and he's just been so stable.
This 20 car, Christopher Bell. Keep an eye on him, Steve. He in the race, he didn't look that great. Kind of, maybe a 10th place car. They made a change to the car, and on the restart, he took off really, really well. Got a lot of spots. And here he is with almost the same pace as Kyle Larson. So they've done a really good job. I'd say the 11's done a good job of making their car better as well.
Yeah, what I like about the 20, it's just how versatile it is. It was the bottom a minute ago, then it was the top, then it was the middle. It looks like the 20's not married to a certain position. So right here, once again, he's going to let the 11 decide. He's going to run the middle. He allows his car to get that cleaner air, generate the downforce required across the diffuser. $64 to go in the race, 31 laps on these tires. I think on the aggressive side, 10 laps away from a pit stop, more conservative, maybe 15 to 18 laps away from a pit stop. Who's willing to gamble? Who is happy with the day they're having, saying, man, we're good in the points? If you're ballot +8, you see that playoff bubble, do you say, I'm just going to stick with it? Or are we continuing to think a win is the goal, and how aggressive do you dare be on this pit cycle to vault your car forward?
I want to give a quick shout out to non-playoff drivers. Hosabar, Buscher, Keselowski, Busch and his teammate Austin Dillon. They're all within the top 13.
Kyle Larson, William Byron 1 and 2 at the front of the pack. Denny Hamlin in 3rd, Christopher Bell 4th, and Tyler Reddick rounding out the top 5 in 5th. Then Ty Gibbs is in the 6th place position, 7th for Alex Bowman. Chase Briscoe 8th, Carson Hocevar 9th, and Chris Buescher rounds out the top 10. Just over 60 laps to go. One more pit stop left in the race if we do stay green to the very end. Only the one caution for incident so far. And anything can happen in the green flag pit cycle with these top 6 cars, all within 4.3 seconds of one another. Top 5 separated by just 3.7 seconds and only 2.1 seconds within the top 4. With the amount of tire fall off we've seen right now, about 1.7 seconds over the course of the run. I mean, even Christopher Bell could pit just 1 lap earlier than Larson. He'd be within a half a second of him, maybe even in the lead, depending on how quick his stop is compared to the 5 teams. So a lot could happen in the running order change here. And then where will the battles go from that when pit road ends up cycling all the way through? You're listening live on KRC. We're just over 2 hours into the race as the NASCAR Cup Series South Point 400 continues at Las Vegas. We'll have one more break in the action here before the end of the race. We're at 118 likes on the stream. We'll see if we can get to 150. That'd be awesome. That'd be one of the most liked streams of the year for these NASCAR live commentary streams. Logano struggling now. Yep. Yeah, Logano, Elliott had that speeding penalty. He's only back up to 18th. 6 spots gained since the restart for Elliott. And obviously Blaney out. It's looking like a near must-win situation for those three, unless, again, we get multiple drivers with issues at Dega and Martinsville, which I would lean towards Dega being the track where we could see a couple of playoff drivers have issues. The problem is you're dwindling it down. Let's assume one of the 8 win. Then you're hoping that 2 of the 4 that are, close to the cut line or above it would have issues to give Elliott, Blaney, and Logano a chance to point their way in, and that's going to be really, really tough. Talladega might get 200 likes. That would be awesome. We're trending upward here as the season is winding down. I greatly appreciate everybody that's tuned in all season long as we continue our coverage, and we'll be back for more again next season, of course, as well.
Worth a visit. Come on out and see it and have some fun and see just how fast and competitive this racetrack is.
I'm going to tell you, Alex Bowman in those 48 cars, Jeff, you mentioned it earlier, since the green flag pit stop a stage ago, he was outside the top 20, and with no gimmicks, he has driven himself into the top 10, running 7th. And we focus so much on these playoff cars that continue to dominate, but this 48 is hounding the group in front, and you just wonder, is this the breakthrough for the 48, right? 48 race winless streak. It was Chicago's street race the last time, as now we see the 19 finally come to pit road. Marty Briscoe on pit road for service.
Yes, he just to note when he made contact with Chase Briscoe restarted 4th. He fell back to the back half of the top 10. 8th when he came to the pit road. He said, quote, "I'm plowing my brains out here." You see that wedge that's been trying to free up the 19 car. Joey Logano, meanwhile, coming down pit road. He told Paul Walker just a moment ago, "This is all I've got." Way too free on the 22 car. He was 18th when Logano came to pit road.
48 to 54 coming to pit road. I talk about Bowman. Well, look, he's chasing Ty Gibbs, and look, that's a pretty good contact. Bang! Well, big contact. You wonder if there's real damage to the front of that 48. Fortunate it didn't spin Ty Gibbs out. Just get the best he can. It doesn't look bad to the naked eye, but if it moves the splitter or unseals those hook vents, that can absolutely hurt the downforce. But his job of chasing the 54 did cycle him in front off from pit road. Mark.
That's the key. Hit the guy in front of you.
That's always the key, right, Jeff? Hey, we talked about and debated whether or not Tyler Reddick and Billy Scott would come early here with 55 hops to kill. More splitting it in the middle for Reddick, who's had the same complaint all day long. Limit 2-3, the further they run, the further they've got a top 5 car, need just a little bit more to be a winning car.
And for the 24 of William Byron, most of that run, he said it was pretty good. Then just a couple laps ago, he goes, the right rear does not feel great. You definitely need a little bit more for longevity. 4 fresh Goodyear tires, no go fuel, Dylan.
Rich Vermel's been a little bit snug and a little bit free all day today, just chasing the balance and perfection on this run. He wants to be a half number tighter on exit for this final run, potentially of the day. 4 tires and fuel for the 20. Kyle Larson will be in as well. He reported just less overall grip this run. We told you that Cliff Daniels had an adjustment plan a couple of stops ago to try to help get them a little bit better for this final run to try and get him freed up. We'll see what that is here as Larson gets ready to hit his marks here. The Zach Brown band number 5 car, different look for him here. We'll go around and change right side tires. There's the adjusted. They had planned Rich in the backside, Hindo on the left side. Here at the left side tires, smooth soft surface and a change for Larson.
1 extra lap for Kyle Larson, and coming around the 43 of Eric Jones. We will see if that is a difference maker. So here, bottom of your screen, Byron already has serviced his car. Start finish now. The 5 on the apron up through the gears. But remember, at 190 miles an hour of top speed, it is going to take Larson a little bit up to speed as he sneaks around the apron. This one is going to be close, real close. I think 24 is going to have momentum, but does he have enough to make a pass? Yes, he does. Lead change. Byron in front of Larson on the cycle. Teammate on teammate. 2 seconds back for Byron. Made up 2 seconds between the lap, and he had to come around the 43 on the green flag pit stop. Now we'll see who has made the
We got some lag. There we go.
As he sneaks around the apron, this one is going to be.
I fell behind on the broadcast a little bit. Let me try to catch up again. Felt like a half a lap behind where I was.
So he's going to run a few extra laps. A caution here. Bingo. You're looking great. You can service your car into caution. If he does put under green, the negative, he will lose a ton of time that the guys have pitted. The positive is he will have fresher tires, and that could make a difference in even the last 5 laps of the race, Jeff, right?
Pity.
This time on board, top box, Denny Hamlin. Let's see what a green flag stop looks like.
He was 4 seconds in arrears of Kyle Larson at the time of Larson's pit.
Downshift, you're looking for that orange box on the right-hand side. You see with the sun, it's hard to see.
It is hard to see.
Now he's looking at his dash. It's hard to tell with his visor, but he's very, very focused. Remember, all the way down at pit stall 1. Last pit stall on pit road, Marty.
Gotta love this chest move from the pre-scale. So far, not the speed maybe to beat the 5 and 3 before. So he's gonna run a little bit longer. Fresher tires for him. 49 laps to go. Will it pay into the win? So looking him on this week, he's a team that guesses right on how the that's going to be who wins. Looks like he's the triple on the right side with the jack, though, Kim.
And Marty, Chase Elliott's team saw Hamlin pit. They stayed a little bit longer too, but as soon as they let him pit, they said pit. No major complaints from Chase. The car just got a little bit hot in traffic, but it was okay.
The time will be lost. So you see Hosabar, Keselowski, McDowell yet to pit. Byron running 4th. There's Hosabar right there. So he's entering into turn 3. There's Byron. So let's give you the rundown. There's Byron, who's already surfaced. Larson behind him. Bell behind him. We continue to look further back. You're going to see Bowman in the bright green car jump in the picture. That 58 is fast, guys. Then there's the 54. There's a 19. Look how much time. This is going to cost the 11 of Hamlin. Don't hold your breath. You might not make it.
I don't know if there he is or not, but Denny was still in his pit box when Byron and Larson went by.
13-second stop. So you'll never know if the strategy was right because the execution wasn't. Let's see. This has been a little bit of an Achilles heel. Remember that dominant race of Kansas went away on a slow 2-tire stop. This is just, you can't have that issue on the jack at this point in the season. Listen, it's human error. It's easy to do, but you can't have that if you want to be one of the best cars out here today. We're looking for that clean execution. So it's slow stop, stressful times for Chris Gale and the crew chief.
Remember, they had some crew members.
Hamlin cycled behind Hosavar.
First race back since that suspension.
He just passed him, but
so maybe a little bit of
he was behind him.
Sink. And look, that crew guys are kind of like kickers. You know, you're going to make the extra point. Everyone just expects you to make it. Short field goal, just expect you to make it. You know, they only really talk about it when you miss. And that's the tough part about being a kicker. You're going to do hundreds of pit stops. And you just hope that the natural mistakes that will come over the course of the year, they come in the right time of the season where you can somehow recover with the right time of the race.
The 2-time Daytona 500 winner, William Byron for Hendrick Motorsport, out front. Got by his teammate and is enjoying just over a 1-second advantage over Kyle Larson. Whose day is it going to be? Opportunity to lock into the championship war in Phoenix.
All right, we'll go through the full field running order post green flag pit stops. If it stays green to the end of the race, we have seen the final stop of the day. But if we get any cautions with the tire fall off, we will have more pit stops to come and more restarts and battling to go from there to go for the win, as a win would lock one of these playoff drivers into the championship 4. Top 3 spots all held by playoff drivers at the moment. William Byron leads, Kyle Larson at 2nd, Christopher Bell 3rd, Alex Bowman up to 4th, Tyler Reddick in 5th, and Ty Gibbs is in the 6th spot. 7th is Chase Briscoe, Denny Hamlin 8th, Chris Buescher 9th, and Austin Dillon rounds out the top 10. 11th is Carson Hosavar, Kyle Busch in 12th, AJ Allmendinger 13th, Joey Logano 14th, Shane Van Gisbergen in 15th, 16th for Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Ross Chastain 17th, Brad Keselowski 18th, Chase Elliott 19th, and 20th is Justin Haley. 21st, Eric Jones, Noah Gragson 22nd, 23rd, Zane Smith, and Smith is currently the last car in the lead lap. Then 24th, Michael McDowell, Riley Herbst 25th, Ryan Preece 26th, 27th for Austin Cindric, Daniel Suarez 28th, 29th, Cole Custer and Bubba Wallace in 30th. Josh Berry 31st, Todd Gillen 32nd, John Hunter Nemechek 33rd, Cody Ware 34th, Ty Dillon is 35th. 36th for J.J. Yaley. Catherine Lake, 37th. Ryan Blaney, 38th. And that rounds out the field here late in this race. 9/10 of a second lead for Byron over Larson. 1.5 seconds to Christopher Bell in third. And 3.9 seconds to Alex Bowman currently in fourth. Top three still very much in it. And we'll see what the lap times will state for like a Reddick and a Bowman who have been fast at various points in the race. Bowman more late, Reddick more in the middle stage. But it's crunch time. That is for sure. Byron working his way through lap traffic right now, putting a little bit of distance between himself and Larson. Larson catching a lap car in a bad spot. Looks like the 34 of Gillen to his outside through 1 and 2. Kind of got pinched off a bit. Josh Berry about to go a second lap down after winning the spring Vegas race earlier this year has been an utter non-factor. As Berry is now 2 laps down in 30th. Briscoe does still have that fastest lap of the race. On lap 2, with a 29.394. And again, that would give him the bonus point for the fastest lap. During the commercial break, Larson's closed the gap a couple tenths, from 9/10 off the lead now to 7/10. Struggled to get by Gillen, fell about a second off the lead, but the 2 to 3 laps after that, he's been about a 10th quicker lap than the 24. Larson has led over 100 laps in today's race. 120, Byron 53. Larson looking for win number 4 in the season, Byron for number 3, and of course both looking for a spot in the championship 4. Same for Bell, who is only 2 seconds back, still in third. Top 3 playoff drivers, and then Briscoe in 7th, the next highest running playoff driver. Denny Hamlin in 8th. Joey Logano in 14th. Chase Elliott 17th. And Ryan Blaney dead last, 38th. And again, Blaney's still the only car out. And a fairly clean and green race. Very quick race pace, by the way. Only 37 laps to go, and we are under the 2.5 hour mark still. This race might end up topping out to be about 2.5 hours in length if we get to the checkered flag without another caution. Both Byron and Larson slowly getting away from Christopher Bell at the moment. 2.5 seconds back now for Bell. The split in the top 5. Larson looks like he's catching Byron. Something happened to William Byron? Or is the leaderboard off? Hang on, we need a camera at the front of the field. Did they seriously miss the pass for the lead? What happened? Larson passed Byron. I saw it on the ticker, but then they didn't even show it live when it happened. I was like, hold on a second. Larson's ahead and he's pulling away quick. Byron got really loose in turns 1 and 2. Did a great job to keep from hitting the wall. Larson blew by him off the exit of the corner. And now Larson's back as being the top dog again. Major adjustments gone wrong for the 24 or something. I mean, it's strange that he's that loose this early in the run. They only have about 20 laps on their tires. I am upset that they did not show that live. And it was like a half a lap after the fact before they showed the replay. How did nobody know that that happened? I saw it on the ticker for a long time. I'm like, did that seriously just happen, or is this a graphic error? Great save by Byron to keep himself in it. Obviously, a wreck would have been terrible. Byron 22 points above the cut line with where we stand right now. Larson leads. If he wins, he's in the next round. Hamlin plus 16, plus 8 for Bell, minus 8 for Briscoe, and minus 26 for Chase Elliott, 36 for Ryan Blaney, minus 37 for Joey Logano. 32 laps to go at the start-finish line this time by. That 24 car is struggling now. He had that big loose moment, and he is losing time to Kyle Larson in a hurry. 1.8 seconds off the lead still is Bell. Bell's actually creeped in just a bit after both the 24 and the 5. He's well quicker than the 24, and he's slightly quicker than the 5 of Larson. Showing that loose moment by William Byron again. From a handful of laps ago, Larson taking, oh, big crash off of turn 4. Byron has crashed hard. Nemechek involved as well. There were several cars spinning across the grass. The 24 is going to be done. And his car is destroyed.
Jim, tell us why. Tell us more.
Yeah, William got on the radio and said, I had no idea he was pitting. I had no idea he was pitting. What was he doing? So William Byron kind of scratching his head there on what that incident and what caused it.
John Hunter Nemechek, Ty Dillon. Wounded race cars everywhere.
Big contact. The pit road here is kind of far around the corner. We've seen some guys as they break, get up into the racing line. Just take a look. Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness. That was a terrible hit.
Idea that he was pitting at all. Many times the spotters will signal, wave their arms, I'm pitting, and clearly no communication from up there. William Byron just had no indication he was going to pit.
Look at John Hunter Nemechek sideways down pit road. Oh,
wow.
That is a figure out where that 10 is in reference, Jeff. Is he higher than others that have come to pit road?
Seems like it.
Many drivers that have come to pit road not on the white line. I think you should be on the white line. I know it's a little quicker if you're using more of the racetrack, but maybe we don't know what was going on with Ty Dillon. Maybe he was having a problem with his car, had to come to pit road quickly. We just don't
Oh
know.
my goodness.
Impact.
That's a terrible hit.
totally unabated. Just slamming into the back.
With an amazing day. 55 laps led.
AMR safety team on the scene.
The only positive that they can take from this race is the speed that they brought and the playoff points that they earned. 18 stage points, not playoff points, 18 stage points.
Here's some 10 radio.
Happened there. Thought we were coming too. He just didn't get it. Whatever. Take it out of our misery anyway. Apologize to everybody. That was terrible.
That was communication. The spotter of the 10 was saying that he was letting them know, I guess is what he is saying there, but we heard the report that William had no idea. You can tell by the closing rate, he had no idea that the 10 was slowing down.
A little bit out of a sequence, right? So when people start pitting, you start recognizing, hey, there's a pit sequence going on. And you're a little more aware that guys might be pitting in front of you, but the 10-car pitting is kind of completely out of sequence with everyone else.
Yeah.
So William would not have been thinking that he was going to come down pit road.
It's a relief to see.
Yeah. Just had that big loose moment, right? Probably trying to get back in the rhythm and watch this closing rate.
For both the drivers to get out and are okay is an incredibly positive result, but this was nasty.
Before taking breath.
All right, well, massive crash. This is becoming a regular occurrence, it seems like, on an intermediate track. And William Byron, who was in second place, within a second of the leader, Larson, slamming into the back of the lap car, Ty Dillon, who did not get the indication that he was pitting. And William Byron cramming it into the back of him. Byron's car came up off the ground for a brief moment, right front, kind of over the left rear. Both cars absolutely destroyed, especially the 24 of Byron. And that was one of the more massive car-on-car impacts that we have seen in a minute. I mean, I hate that that is a way because of how violent and scary that crash was that, you know, it kind of closens the points battle up a little bit more for the likes of Logano, Blaney, and Elliott. It's what they needed for the championship side of things, but man, hopefully Byron is okay. He did get out of the car under his own power. Gonna have to take the mandatory trip back to the infield care center. Yeah, that cut line's going to be massive between 4th and 5th leaving today's race. Logano and Blaney, though, I mean, those Penske cars so good on the super speedways. Cindric won at Dega back in the spring. Ryan Blaney just won at Daytona. You'd have to believe that one of those two could very well go out and win Dega. Pit road is open, meanwhile, with less than 30 to go.
Bro, it comes alive with what should be the last stop of the day. It's busy down there, so too is Dylan Welsh. Race leader Kyle Larson, top of the screen, said the car turns better, but I had less overall grip. He just asked for more of that right rear grip for the last 25 laps. Christopher Bell in the middle box said the car took off really well. Think that bodes well for them on another short run, Marty.
Chase Briscoe said definitely better on that run. I'm just not sure. You continue to get more speed. Two-tire couple for James Small. That was the last second call. Denny Hamlin, second chance in to redeem themselves.
Oh, wow.
Tires for the 11.
4 tires for 4 drivers.
Rolling the dice, pardon the pun, but they're rolling the dice here in Vegas. 2 tires stop. Is that going to last? Is it going to make it 27? Unfortunately, William Byron, Ty Dillon, no longer in this race after that awful crash.
That in-car camera, man, of Byron closing in at an unbelievable rate. Normal race pace, essentially, on a car that's stopping in front of him trying to get to pit road. A little too far wide. No hand out the window. Get onto pit road as well. I can't remember who it was. Obviously, that one was unevaded. Well, things are going to get interesting here down the stretch. Going to have a little less than 25 laps to go the restart. 4 teams took right side tires only. The top 3 leaving the pits of Briscoe, Logano, Keselowski all took right side tires only. Shane Van Gisbergen and the 88 team for Trackhouse also took right sides only, so he's in 5th. Larson will be the first on 4 fresh tires in 4th. And I like the call for Keselowski because he was the last one to pit road. He only has about 15 laps on those left side tires. So he might be a little bit better off than the 22 and the 19 ahead of him with the rights only. And also the track position game of just being the leader is going to be huge for whoever gets the lead after this restart. If that would be a Briscoe, a Logano, or whatnot. Can Joey Logano on strategy win this race 2 years in a row to make the championship 4? Last year, fuel mileage. This year, a 2-tire stop on a late caution in the final 25 laps. We shall see. We'll take our final break here, awaiting the race start to the closing laps of the South Point 400 here at Las Vegas.
Twenty-five, 24 laps of this race here. Time now for the Wants to Watch, presented by Credit One Bank. So I think You're going to stay with this guy here in the 5, Kyle Larson. He's 3 for 3. Every time here at this track, when he's led more than 100 laps, he's gone on to win. So does he become a 4-time winner today? I say yes.
I'm going to a non-playoff driver, Alex Bowman, in the 48. Well, it's been 48 races since this car went to victory lane.
Like
I'm going to tell you, he's the second car on 4 fresh tires, only in 6. His teammate did it at Kansas for 10th and only 2 laps. So 6 to 1st with 25 to go. I think it could be Alex Bowman's day.
Wow.
The guy behind him.
Great job by the 48.
Christopher Bell, runner-up in this race. The last 2 years, he told us at the start of this race, during the pace laps, how excited he was to get going. And here he is with a chance to win with a short run to the finish. Let's ride along, Christopher Bell. The crash with William Byron and Ty Dillon. Look at this. Sun in his eyes. Smoke in front of him. Hangs it left, gets by it.
It's so often that we talk about drivers who get unlucky. That was incredibly fortunate, and that may just allow Christopher Bell to capitalize and go on and lock his way into the championship 4. We'll see. Need to give you some important numbers. So the 19, Chase Briscoe out in front. The 2-tire stop, he went from 6th to 1st. For Joey Logano, he went from 13th to 2nd with that 2-tire stop. For the 6 of Brad Keselowski, 14th to 3rd. And for the 88 of Shane Van Gisbergen, he's gone from 16th to 5th. They're all gambling a little to see if they can last.
They've all had Joey Logano down most of the day. He's really been the worst running of the playoff guys. Paul Wolf and this team, hey, we're going to do something different. They did it in this race last year. You know, restarted. They nowhere near had the best car. Found a way to win with strategy. Here they are trying something again.
So let's focus on the bottom left just for a second. Blaney, minus 32. He's wrecking off, not going anywhere. Chase Elliott, minus 24. Running in 18th. Lots of points available if he can move forward. Joey Logano, minus 21. No real points available, but in one more position, it's an automatic berth if he can win this race. And then you have William Byron, who just wrecked, right? So when you look at those points, understand how quickly it could change in complexion of just these restarts right here.
Yep.
Go back even deeper in the field. Talked about Christopher Bell, Denny Hamlin restarting in 10th. Who is going to be able to take off with forward momentum on 2 tires? You don't know which lane's going to go well. You haven't seen this today. This is the first time we've been in this situation. So if you're Bell, what are you doing here? Are you jumping on the outside trying to make it 3 wide?
23 laps to go in the restart here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway in the South Point 400. It's been a pretty solid race so far, coming down to the wire late. Other people just tuning in the chat here late. I got Vader Trader, welcome in. Thank you for your comment on the great job, very enjoyable. Roz, welcome into the stream as well too. Here we go. Crunch time. Top 3, 2 tires, right side's only under the last stop. Everybody else on 4, minus SVG, who restarts in 5th. Green flag back in the air. Front row launches well. Both Logano and Briscoe stack up the middle. Bowman 3 wide. Cars bouncing off one another. We've got a crash again. Ty Gibbs backs it into the wall hard. SVG sliding sideways for a long time before getting cleaned out by the 16 of Allmendinger. And now we're under caution again. And this is going to buy time for those that took the 2 right side tires only during that last pit stop. I don't know what happened there exactly, but everything went wrong. We need another look at that. That was ugly. I think it kind of started when Bowman went up the middle 3 wide, and I couldn't tell who that was that followed him into that hole. When Bowman got through, I think the hole closed. I don't know if that was SVG on the outside of it or not. Let's see here. Bowman goes up the middle, gets by the 6, gets by the 5. The 54 ended up tagging the left rear of the 88 of SVG, but I don't know who hit Gibbs first because it looked like he got hit. It looked like Bell. But Bell didn't change his line either. Bell was on the outside of Gibbs. He clipped Gibbs in the right rear, which kind of sparked the incident. It almost looked like Gibbs, if anything, might have moved up just a bit. It almost didn't even look like he ended up coming up at all. That was tough. It's tough to tell. It looked honestly like a racing deal because they didn't look like the 54 nor the 20 really changed their line at all. Hamlin was underneath the 54, so he couldn't really move down. The 88 was already to his outside, and Bell was very tight to the right rear. Hocevar got clipped against the outside wall. A tough break for him. He was up in the top 10 at various points late in the race. Couple of good cars caught up in late race wrecks. Ty Gibbs, another one. I mean, obviously he's going to be out of the race now. Quite significant damage after backing it against the fence at 3 and 4. So Gibbs was running about 6th or so before the caution came out. Restarted right around 7th. Gibbs and Cody Ware hit pretty hard car to car as well. Cody Ware back in the pack. Cleaned out Ty Gibbs late. Gibbs already had a lot of damage after backing it into the wall as well. Quite a few cars caught up in this crash. Half a dozen or so, and again, this buys time for Briscoe and Logano on the front row. Seth Thomas, welcome into the stream. It is crunch time at Vegas. And I'm not saying that metaphorically because of the crunching that we've seen with the cars here in recent crashes, but the old saying, cautions breed cautions. Here we go. Top dozen in the running order. Chase Briscoe leading at the time of yellow, barely over Joey Logano when they went to the last scoring loop. Alex Bowman, 3-wide maneuver, able to get up to 3rd. He's first of those that have 4 fresh Goodyears. Both Logano and Briscoe right side tires only. Here's Ty Dillon, who exited the infield care center after that gnarly crash with William Byron.
Before now, you were coming to pit road.
It was a rough day for our field street Sugarland team. There was something wrong with our race car all day. We just couldn't get it fixed. So we were hoping to get it back to the shop and diagnose that. And my spotter told me that he let the 24 spotter know we were coming to pit road. Maybe I didn't wave him off enough, but I feel like at this level you kind of trust your spotter to do that.
What?
Yeah, I don't know what we do different there. Just about to hit pit road and just take tires and kind of we're taking our medicine on the day, unfortunately. And hate it for the Hendrick guys. I hate it for Chevrolet that it happened that way, but I'm not even looking out the mirror at that point. I'm just trying to hit my points to get on pit road, and he hit me hard. So, it's an unfortunate way for that to happen.
Were you coming to pit road higher than you normally had all day long under a green flag stop?
I don't think so. No, that was pretty much the line I'd taken all day. Trying to still compete, get on pit road as hard as I can. You use up as much of the banking as you can, then you dip down low. I don't think I was egregious in that. So maybe just a lack of information being transferred. I know our car looked really cool with the camo on it with Field to Stream, and maybe it blended in a little bit, but I hate it for them. We brought on great partners this year, and we didn't put our best foot forward as a team, but hope to have them back, hope to have Sugarlands back, and do good for them in the future.
Well, Lee, as he mentioned, a hard impact. Just glad to see that Ty Dillon is okay after that one.
And Jeff, you and I sat up here and watched a couple waves of green flag pit stops, and I think it's fair to say that he could have been closer to the white line, but I think it's absolutely fair to say he is by no means higher than a lot of other cars that were coming to pit road. So, I don't know what everybody's going to say and what driver etiquette is. Not the lowest, but not the highest either. Marty, how about the others?
I think the big thing is, I understand that he got communicated. Well, here's William Byron.
Well, man, walk us through how all that went down and how much time you had to react when you saw the 10 coming to pit road.
Yeah, I never saw him wave. I didn't see any
He didn't
indication that he
wave.
was pitting. And it was probably 12 to 15 laps after we had pitted, so I thought the cycle was fully over. Nobody said anything to my spotter from what I know. I had zero idea. Everybody's been wrapping the paint really far around the corner, and that's what I was doing to have a good lap. And I was watching him thinking, okay, he missed the bottom a little bit here, and then he just started slowing, and I was like, had no idea what was going on. So I'm just devastated. I had no indication. So I obviously wouldn't have just driven full speed in the back of him like that.
You talk about the devastation. Were you thinking that you had a winning race car today, William?
We were right there with the 5. I got loose a few laps before and lost the lead, which I was bummed about, but was going to try to get my balance back to a reasonable place. I was a little bit loose that run, looser than I expected to be, and was just kind of pacing it. And just as good as we were and just as good as the race was going, for random shit to happen like that. It just sucks. So I don't know. I can't believe it. I obviously would never do that. During the cycle, you're anticipating guys pitting, and it just sucks.
You can tell the disappointment in his voice, but I want to go back to the word William Byron used, Lee, and that was devastation. He knew he had a shot to win the race, and certainly to lose it in that fashion, not what the 2014 wanted or expected.
Well, a couple things. I think communication is the key here. Ty Dillon said he did not wave.
Yes.
He did not give an indication.
You have to.
He expected his spotter to provide that information. Brandon Lyons, one of the very best spotters in the series for William Byron, he never saw the signal from the spotter. So miscommunication all the way around on the spotter stand and also on the racetrack. And also, you had no idea that he was going to pit because the pit cycles had already happened. He just was no indication that someone was going to be pitting, so he wasn't looking for it.
So Jeff, you were spot on. I didn't even think of that, but it was clear that these drivers understand when you're in a pit cycle to just be more aware of that. It's his first comment was we were 12 or 15 past my pit stop, so I assumed the cycle was done. Then he followed up with the line to help his car with to wrap the white line even longer. You probably wouldn't have done that if you thought you were in a pit cycle. So just an awful set of circumstances comes down to communication. If he felt the 10 was too high, I feel like William would have said that. He didn't. So I just feel like this is an area of the racetrack that we see close calls a lot and lack of communication and kind of an oddly timed pit stop ends up taking William Byron out of the race.
Ty Dillon could have been on the white line. He still would have hit him.
Good point. That's a great point.
That was
Yeah.
Because he was on the white line.
Yeah, to close him was
well
so
said.
great. It
Well
would
said.
not have mattered.
Man, that's too bad. You could just tell. I mean, everybody like poor William is just shell shocked. He's trying to process everything that's happened.
Well, because if you think big picture wise, he doesn't go to the championship form.
That's right.
For the next 2 weekends, he will be thinking back to that moment
Yes.
for so long, and he was so good today, leading 55 laps. Keen to get the thoughts of Brad Doherty and our Hall of Famer DJ Dale. Jarrett, what'd you make of that, fellas? And what are your thoughts on the race as a whole?
Well, it's been a great race, a lot of battling, a lot of strategy. That last restart, I want to go back to, Brad, because that was kind of the perfect storm. We had drivers getting 2 tires.
Yes.
We had drivers that are in the playoffs getting 4 tires there. And then you also have drivers that aren't in the playoffs anymore that took 2 tires, got themselves into position right here. So kind of the perfect storm for something to happen. Not even sure it's the last caution of the day, the way this is going.
Yeah, I think that's all because of Kyle Larson. Briscoe and Logano both took 2 tires. They both have wounded race cars. They're in front. Larson's closest to him. If he gets past those guys, they'll be difficult for the rest of the playoff guys to pass. So everyone was trying to get as much real estate as possible on that restart. And I think you have to do that because it gets spread out. You let Larson get shotgun on the fifth, you got a problem. So when that flag drops, you got to go.
One thing that I want to make note of here is that this long caution is a major advantage to Briscoe and Logano on 2 tires.
Yep.
We know 4 tires are better than 2. And you now have cooled them down. You now have got tons of heat out of those tires. I'm not saying they're going to be better, but this is best case scenario for these 2 cars.
One other thing is Bowman, who was kind of the guy squeezing his way through 3 wide. He was scored in front of the 5 at the time of yellow. So he'll now be the 3rd car coming to choose. We'll see if he chooses inside or outside. And Brad K up there, you said it earlier, RFK still trying to get that win. That would take a lot of the sting out of the year. Hamlin and Bell back in the mix.
Yeah, the thing I don't like about Ty Dillon's interview there, not only said he didn't put his hand out the window, but he didn't think he did any wrong by not putting his hand out the window. He puts his hand out the window, that immediately is going to indicate to Byron without any extra communication with having to say, hey, spotter, go tell his spotter. So then the spotter could relay the message to William Byron that the car ahead is pitting. That seems to me like a lot longer of form of communication to relay, I'm pitting this time. If he said, like, when did they give the information? Like, when was the spotter on the 10 supposed to give the indication that the 24 was pitting? Following the 10 of Ty Dillon, 24 of Byron. I don't know what we're following there. on the back straightaway. I don't know. I think the whole situation would have been avoided. Obviously, had Byron known that Ty Dillon was pitting and a simple hand out the window, I think would have had that not happened. It's definitely flipped the race on its side because then we get a caution after that. Pit strategy before the caution that we're currently under, and we're only going to have 14 laps to go in the restart. Briscoe Logano on the front row. We still don't know if the right side tire only strategy is going to be enough to win this race. Keselowski was also on that strategy. He fell to 5th on the restart. Both Larson and Bowman got by the 6. So the front row, right side's only 4 fresh tires for everybody but the 6 in the 5th spot behind them. Hey guys, don't look now. Kyle Busch on 4 tires is up to 8th. Hometown, Las Vegas. What a grind it's been for that A team today. I almost want to give them the underdog in the race award. I mean, SVG's out now. He would have had it running top 10 for a lot of it, but not the case anymore. Here's James Small with an interview before the restart.
But, we just had to take a shot. We had, fallen back to 7th or 8th there, wherever we were. And, I don't know how many other opportunities we'll get here. So we'll see how it shakes out. Could be upside down here in a few laps, or it might work out. So hopefully Chase can hang on.
Gotta go for it. Thanks, James. Not the first time that James Small has made that two-tire call. He did it back at Worldwide Technology Raceway, and Drac Briscoe kind of...
Yeah, Briscoe got a second-place run out of it that day as well. Although a little bit easier to pass here at Vegas and more tire wear, this is going to be a little bit harder to hold on, I think, but we shall see. Joey Logano, he's good at playing defense on the same strategy. If he can get to the lead and beat Briscoe, can Logano win this race 2 years in a row? 14 to go, green flag back in the air. Briscoe, the control car in the restart, launches late in the zone. Great restart compared to the 2 cars in row 2 behind them of Bowman and Larson. They've got some catching up to do into the first turn. Larson trying to block Hamlin. Hamlin gets to the outside of the 5. 48 has only the 22 and the 19 in front of him. 3 wide with Keselowski, Larson, and Hamlin for 4th off of turn 2. Drag race down the back straightaway. Bowman trying to push the 19 of Briscoe clear. Briscoe's close to clearing. Into turn 3. Now he is clear up off the exit of the corner. And Joey Logano is going to have to fend off for as many positions as he can get. Bowman still clear for 3rd. Follows the 22 car in the front stretch. Side by side, Larson, Hamlin for about 4th. Larson clear. Hamlin looking to the inside. Larson a block down to the bottom. Hamlin not going to be able to hold on and make the pass. Top 5 in the running order with 13 laps to go in the restart as Chase Briscoe in the lead. Joey Logano 2nd. Alex Bowman in 3rd. 4th, Kyle Larson. 5th, Denny Hamlin. Bowman got tight in the dirty air. Had to lift behind Logano. Larson through to 3rd. Larson trying to get by Logano. Logano shakes back and forth. Block top to bottom. Doing whatever he can to hold on for as many points as he can. As he sits minus 19 below the cut. He was minus 37 before the 2-tire stop. And with Larson dropping out of the lead. Larson side drafts the 22 after getting underneath him off of turn 2. Larson clear for 2nd up in the middle of 3 and 4. Denny Hamlin up the middle, 3 wide between Reddick and Bowman, comes out with 4th place, and he's got to run after Logano for 3rd. Hamlin trying to chase 60 career NASCAR Cup wins. Started on the pole today, but has not led a lap. If he can make quick work of the 22, which he's got a great run off turn 2, looks to the inside for 3rd. Side drafts Logano, should be able to get by him into 3 and 4 and does. So now Hamlin's up to 3rd. Larson in 2nd. Briscoe leads but has older left side tires. Roughly 15 laps or so, maybe 20. Under green flag action. And only 10 laps to go. Top 3 all in the playoffs. Spot in the championship 4 obviously on the line. If Briscoe does not win this race, I believe he would be 4th on the playoff grid, so this would be a massive win for him. Larson plus 35, Hamlin plus 33, but at least takes Talladega out of the question of what could happen wrong next week that could maybe put them in a tight points situation, despite it not looking very tight at the moment. Larson and Hamlin closing on Briscoe through the front stretch. Defensive line by Briscoe through 1 and 2, just doing whatever he can to mirror drive and take the line away of the 5. Larson looks low on entry into turns 1 and 2. Kind of faked that, went to the middle. Briscoe to the bottom. Larson's probably going to carry a little bit more speed down the front stretch, running that slightly wider arc. Trying to catch whatever draft he can through the tri-oval. Briscoe went down to the apron, trying to break it as much as possible. Defensive driving by Briscoe. He is all over the racetrack right now. Larson got tight through 1 and 2. Hamlin's got to run after Larson. And now Larson's got to play defense on the 11 car. Hamlin trying to slip to the outside of Larson. Larson squeezes him. Things are going to get tight up off of turn 4. Denny Hamlin. What a pass if he can pull this off. He's not clear, but he is side by side with a nose out in front at the start-finish line on the 5. Larson did a great job side drafting him back. Slide job for Larson through 1 and 2. He's going to try to clear high up off the exit of the corner. Things get tight. And I think Hamlin might have gotten into the back of Larson just a bit. Larson nearly gets into the fence. And as these two battle for second, Briscoe back out to about a half a second lead plus again. 6 laps to go at the line. Briscoe is going to win this race if Larson and Hamlin are going to be battling like this for second to the very end. Reddick and Bell have gotten by Logano on the older tires. Kyle Busch attacking on Alex Bowman currently for 7th. Larson up to the wall through 3 and 4. Hamlin down to the bottom of the track. After not being able to get by the 5 car on the outside, he's going to try the inside now. It's been the preferred line for most today. Good side draft by Hamlin. Hamlin to the bottom, well clear of Larson into 1 and 2. And by a lot at that. Denny Hamlin is on the charge for 60 career Cup Series wins. He was close at Kansas 2 weeks ago. Came down to the final lap. And it's coming down to the closing laps again here at Las Vegas. Hamlin to the wall through 3 and 4. Big run for Denny. Off turn 4. He's going to have a massive shot to get by Briscoe into turn 1. What does Briscoe do? To the outside goes Denny Hamlin. No block by the 19 car. The run was too fast for the 11. Briscoe sails it off into 1 and 2, doing whatever he can to hold tight with the 11 car, but Hamlin is clear and in the lead for the first time today. With 3.5 laps to go, Denny Hamlin has not let a lap all day, despite qualifying on the pole. The 19 of Briscoe, in fact, was the car that got around him on that opening lap after starting second, and Hamlin going for 60. 3 more laps to pay dirt. Larson still in third. He's losing touch of the 11 and the 19. Hamlin has turned it on late. The Toyotas have been very good on the short run, lacking on the long run compared to the HMS Chevrolets today. Couple cautions late ending this race on a short run, and a better restart for the 11 might have been the difference maker between him winning and Larson not winning. Hamlin is running away with it. Briscoe maybe trying to hold up Larson just a bit as well. Larson does get through to second, clear into turn 1. But he's running out of time quickly. He's a second off the lead. Lap and a half to go down the backstretch. Monumental moment on the horizon for Denny Hamlin to tie Kevin Harvick for 10th all-time on the NASCAR Cup Series wins list. It'd be the 6th win of 2025. Another monumental moment for Hamlin. Can he win his first career championship in his 20th season in the NASCAR Cup Series? Less than a lap away from the checker. And for Denny Hamlin, he is going to lock himself into the championship 4 with 2 weeks to prepare for Phoenix. A race in which Denny Hamlin finished second earlier this year by a nose to his teammate Christopher Bell, and the Toyotas dominated. Checkered flag waves for Hamlin. Win number 60 comes at Las Vegas in the South Point 400. 1.5 second margin of victory for Denny Hamlin. A milestone win. Congratulations to him and that 11 team. They led, I think, only the final 4 laps of today's race. 9 laps led for Hamlin. He must have led during green flag stops earlier then, because I don't remember him leading at all before that. Hamlin is emotional on the backstretch. You can tell how bad he wanted this. I think it's the combination of having a shot to go for that first title. He hasn't been in the championship 4 since 2021. That he's that much closer with a legitimate shot. And especially with the problem that Penske had today with Blaney and Logano. And now career win number 60. Again, top 10 all time now on the NASCAR Cup Series wins list for Denny Hamlin. What a career. He's got a 2-year contract extension with JGR following the conclusion of this season. How many more can he rack up? We'll go over the finishing results after we get the interview from our race winner. Hamlin burning it down on the front stretch at the moment. 21 lead changes today, the last one coming with 4 laps to go. 5 cautions, 2 for incident in stage 3, 3 of them total for incident in the 2 stage breaks. 32 laps spent under caution. We finished under the regulation length of 400 miles, 267 laps, 2 hours, 55 minutes, 13 seconds total time on today's race. Hamlin wins, again, a 2.5 margin of victory, only 9 laps led for the 11. 6 wins in 2026. One of his best seasons of his NASCAR Cup Series career. 129 laps led for Larson today, finishes second. 57 for Briscoe in fourth. 1 lap led for Reddick, Logano, 2 for Brad Keselowski. 5 for Bubba Wallace. Todd Gilliland with 1 lap led, 1 for Cole Custer. 6 for Carson Hocevar, 55 for William Byron with a DNF and a 36th place finish today. We had that couple of crashes down the stretch there. It looked like we had 7 DNFs in the race today. 7 DNFs and 25 cars finished on the lead lap. Here's Denny Hamlin on the front stretch after win number 60.
Tears in his eyes. Going around the racetrack. Gonna go grab this checkered flag, and I think that one might be going to Chesterfield, Virginia, to his dad, Dennis. Hamlin and Juggins Racing onto the championship tour. You still have tears in your eyes. How much were you thinking as you celebrated number 60 about your dad, Dennis? Because you wanted this one for him.
Yeah, it definitely means a lot. I usually, it's the point where I kind of give the fans some shit, but not today. I appreciate all of you so much.
It's okay.
Yeah, just obviously want to say hi to my dad, family back at home, all the friends that came out there for Vegas. Hoping we get 60, but I didn't think we were. Yeah, just put the pedal down those last 10 laps and made it happen.
How did you make it happen, Denny? Because it looked like it might not happen.
Chris did an amazing job on that final stop, getting the cars just right. And I just held it down. That's all I could do is just go for it. I felt like I had nothing to lose. Just go for it and try to punch the ticket now. And man, this feels great.
We talked about the dedication you've shown because you feel like your championship window is right now. 7 hours of sim this week, all the effort that went into it. But did you think this has been such a hit or miss racetrack for you guys that it can happen today?
I mean, if you would ask me yesterday, I would have said no. Just super proud of this team for making the adjustments they did. Pit crew for doing a great job all day, and AM PM. This is only my second race with these guys. When we get new sponsors, we typically win with them. So appreciate them, Toyota, Jordan Brand, Shady Rays, Coca-Cola, all of our partners, Sport Clips, Progressive, and I don't know. I just don't know what to say. It was very unexpected. With those last 15 laps, I didn't think we were going to win, but I knew I was going to give it all I had.
On so many levels, this one means a lot more. Number 60 for Denny Hamlin. This one is for the Hamlin family, and Denny is on to the championship 4 in Phoenix.
Career win number 60 for Denny Hamlin, 6 in 2025. and one step closer to a shot at his first career championship. Has to be the biggest story, I would imagine, of the playoffs so far, really of the season, is Denny Hamlin trying to chase that win number 60, and still chase his first career title, and the fact that it's all culminating at the same time in a matter of potential months. Just insane. Whatever I do, don't scroll through the standings or points, just look at the top 6. No, we'll go through the finishing results. Had to wait to get through the interview there. Denny Hamlin, race winner of today's race, of course. South Point 400 here at Las Vegas. Kyle Larson finishes in second. Third place for Christopher Bell. Chase Briscoe fourth. Playoff drivers locking up the top 4 spots. And Tyler Reddick in fifth. Great strategy call for Joey Logano. That saved him about, from where he was at one point, he was 37 below the cut line. He was sitting minus 19 when he was up around second on that restart. Lost a few points down the stretch, but still finished in sixth. Better than where he was running before he took the right side tires only. Alex Bowman ended up seventh. Really thought he was going to have another shot at it down the late going to the race. Kyle Busch ends up eighth. Ryan Preece ninth, and Brad Keselowski rounds out the top 10. I don't know how Preece got a top 10. He hadn't been up there the whole race, but he did. He was actually the highest finishing RFK Ford. Austin Cindric in 11th. After starting very deep in the field in 31st, pretty solid run for him. Chris Buescher ends up finishing in 12th. Noah Gragson 13th at his home track. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 14th. Eric Jones 15th. Michael McDowell 16th. Riley Herb 17th. Chase Elliott 18th. AJ Allmendinger 19th. And Daniel Suarez in 20th. 21st for Todd Gillen. Bubba Wallace 22nd. Ross Chastain 23rd. Zane Smith 24th. Austin Dillon 25th. Was the last car to finish on the lead lap. Then Josh Berry, 26th. Justin Haley, 27th. Cole Custer, 28th. Jonathan Nemechek, 29th. And 30th, J.J. Yaley. 31st, Catherine Legg. Carson Hocevar, 32nd. Shane Van Gisbergen, 33rd. Ty Gibbs, 34th. Cody Ware, 35th. William Byron, 36th. Ty Dillon, 37th. And Ryan Blaney, 38th. Rounds out the field. So point standings following the finish of this race today. Denny Hamlin obviously with the win in the championship 4. Kyle Larson highest in points right now, plus 35 above the cut line. Plus 20 for Christopher Bell and plus 15 for Chase Briscoe. Minus 15 for William Byron after a DNF and a 36th place finish. Luckily, he had a lot of playoff points coming in with the regular season title and a great set of stage points today. Won a stage and ended up finishing third in the other. So 18 stage points really helps a lot. Despite the poor finish. Minus 23 points for Chase Elliott. Joey Logano minus 24. Gained no points on the cut line. Didn't lose or gain any points. And Ryan Blaney, that DNF, with no stage points today because that wreck happened back in stage 1, is now minus 31 points. Outside the cut, going into Talladega next weekend. I had to pause it to make sure I was going to be able to read that off in time. We'll see if there's any other interviews with top finishers, and there is. Here's Chase Briscoe, who ended up finishing third today.
Fourth position.
Fourth place finish for Briscoe.
Control on that final restart, but a disadvantage tire-wise, just 2 tires. How hard were you hanging on there at the end?
I was hanging on. Yeah, I thought I was in a really good spot there. The first kind of 3 or 4 laps after that restart, my car drove really good. And then as I ran, I was just absolutely sideways in our Bass Pro Shops driver Toyota. So, yeah, I thought there for a while when they were racing hard enough that maybe I was going to sneak one off on them. But, yeah, I just really, really loose there at the end. And, yeah, glad at least JGR car won. Yeah, that one will sting for a while.
Headed to Dega next week. You're plus 15. What kind of day does that mean you guys have to have?
I think we just got to go there and race and see what happens. But yeah, I mean, obviously that's where the biggest point swing is probably going to come for all of us. Luckily for us, we didn't use our one mulligan, I guess, today. So yeah, we'll just go there and see what we can do and hopefully come out of there on the plus side or maybe even win it. And yeah, go on to Martinsville and see what we can do.
Top 5 finish here for Chase Briscoe.
Second place today for Kyle Larson. Hard-fought battle there at the end with the 11. What ultimately did you feel like you needed more of, maybe just to hold him off ultimately?
Yeah, I thought I had a big enough gap down the backstretch to go to the top and get rolling momentum. But yeah, his car, the Toyotas in general,
were really, really, really fast on the short run and had a lot of speed. And yeah, he must have nailed the bottom behind me, got to my inside. It was kind of, over from there. But yeah, he did an awesome job. Like he got up on the wheel there. I mean, I felt like I was up on the wheel, and he did a really good job. I tried to take his line away at 3 and 4, and he got to my outside. So rarely do you see Denny do that, and he did a great job. So hats off to them. Hats off to my team too. We had an awesome day as well. I think we were second maybe in the first stage, won the next stage, and second in the race. So good points today. Obviously, would have liked the issue with the 10 and the 24 to not happen, because we had just kind of taken control of the race there and was going to kind of cruise their victory. But that's racing and it gets crazy. So happy though still to get a good finish. It was getting hectic there.
Go to Talladega plus 35. What does that do to your mentality for these next couple of weeks even?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously it could completely flip next week, but I do feel like, our super speedway stuff has gotten a lot better. We've done really well on them this year, but you can never expect a good finish or a finish at all when you go there. So we'll just try and go and execute like we have been this year at those places, and hopefully we can have another good point day, and maybe Martinsville will be a little bit easier. But right now I know it shows plus 35, but if somebody below the cut line wins, then it's a lot less. So playoffs crazy.
Good day for the 5 team. Kyle Larson finishes second.
8 times Larson and Hamlin run 1-2. I think you and I can analyze what the 11 did all day, but those words from Kyle Larson said it to me. He appreciates the run. He had a great car, but he was even shocked some of the moves that Denny Hamlin pulled off.
I can't believe not only Hamlin took the lead, but as soon as he took the lead, he was gone. As fast as Larson has been all day today, and I hadn't seen that kind of speed out of the 11, even on the short run all day. I mean, he got out to a 1.5-second margin of victory. He didn't take the lead till 3.5 laps to go. Running probably some of his quickest laps of the race there right at the end. You could tell he was determined when he got out in front. He is not losing this race, especially with what was on the line. All right, we got to go through the Fantasy League here before we log off for the night. You can join the NASCAR Fantasy League on the NASCAR.com website or the NASCAR mobile app. Chance to win 2 tickets to any NASCAR race if you're choosing the following season. If you win our regular season and or playoff championship, KRC League is the name of the league. KRC in all capital letters, space, capital L on league is the name. Obviously, if you're not in there yet, you can't win this year, but you'll automatically be in for next season. So when we start the live commentary streams back up again next year, you can play along in fantasy and have your chance to win again 2 tickets to any NASCAR race if you're choosing, excluding the Daytona 500 next year. I'm obviously on NASCAR.com already. I just clicked the wrong tab, but there will be a fantasy tab. You'll want to click that. Wait for the screen to refresh. Oh, I clicked the wrong tab again. Now I click playoffs. Let's click fantasy this time. You know what? I'm just going to log out of NASCAR.com and log back in on another web page. That was taking forever. All right, playoff. Nope, fantasy. There we go. I got it right. Man, I'm tired. We still got another stream to go tonight. It's going to be a late one. Fantasy team for this week. I had a really good team. Byron, Bell, Larson, Briscoe, Elliott. They were all pretty much up there. Reddick outscored Elliott. Chase didn't have his issue. Well, I guess it was in stage 2. Had I been paying attention to my fantasy lineup, I would have plugged Reddick in for Elliott, but I wasn't paying attention. Rest of the team, though, pretty solid. 2nd for Larson, 4th for Briscoe. Bell finished 3rd. Byron, a lot of stage points, 18 of them. I believe only one less than Larson, who had the most stage points today. Obviously not a good finish, though, for Byron. I would have had Larson over Byron in the head-to-head. I would have had Hamlin because I picked Hamlin to win, and he did win. By the way, back-to-back weeks, and I think the 14th time I've taken somebody to win a race correctly this season. Pat myself on the back. 14 is a ton. 14 is a ton. Briscoe, Elliott, would have had Briscoe with the Toyota. Man, that sucks. I missed out on 40 bonus points today. Not having the head-to-head lineup in. And the points I left in my garage with Reddick, that was another 19. That's big. That's 59 points I left on the table. That probably just costed me the playoff championship. Finished 12th today with 189. 69, I would have ended up with 248, which would have put me in 3rd for this week. Instead, I ended up 12th. Yeah, that's tough. Sauce Mafia and Austin Dillon fan with 269 ends up winning this week at Las Vegas on the Fantasy League. Inside Uranus in second with 258. Carm 60 in third with 239. And a tie for fourth amongst, what is that, 4 people tied for fourth. The Plow V3, P-Shat Motorsports, Troy the Great, CRN Corona, all with 228. And again, tied for 12 on my half. 229. Monster Jam X10 came in with the lead into the week. 197 finishes at 12. Inside Uranus was not that far behind. I think within 50. Outscored by 61, it looks like. So I believe Inside Uranus will be the new points leader going into Talladega next week. Big week for him, finishing second. So tight race down the stretch. And it was a tight race down the stretch here in today's actual race. Be sure to hit the like button. We did get to our like goal of 100. Smashed it. We're at 144 right now. If you have not hit the like button, let's see if we can get to 150 after the stream is over. I will see you guys very soon. Not going to waste too much more time. We got another stream coming up. NASCAR 25, COTA, full race. We're going to be on late tonight, but I really want to do daily NASCAR 25 streams for the first few weeks since the game came out. You guys are enjoying that on the channel. I'm enjoying the game too. It's great playing a new NASCAR game that's actually fun to play. First time in like 5+ years that I've had this much fun playing a NASCAR video game. So definitely wanting to stream that for you guys. And I didn't get a chance to earlier because I was in Cleveland actually throughout the day earlier today. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys very soon. And if not, start times next week. Also, almost forgot, Talladega. I did not go over the start times for next week. Obviously, I'll post it in the community tab at the end of the week again, per usual. But next weekend on the channel, Craftsman Truck Series on Friday afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern. So Friday afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern, will be live for the truck race at Talladega. That will be the next live commentary stream. Then at 1:30 p.m. Eastern on Saturday afternoon will be NASCAR Cup Series qualifying from Dega. No practice next week across all 3 series, so qualifying only there. That'll be a shorter stream leading into the Xfinity Series race, which will be at 4 p.m. Eastern after qualifying for the Cup Series. And then the NASCAR Cup Series will be at 2 p.m. Eastern next weekend, Sunday afternoon, big NBC. We'll be live with our pre-race for that one at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, live commentary next week. And that means double header streams with NASCAR 25 and truck racing on Friday. Triple header again on Saturday, just like we did yesterday with Cup qualifying, Xfinity race, and NASCAR 25. And then also we will be live for Sunday for the Cup race, 1:30 p.m. Eastern there as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. See you guys very soon. Thanks for watching. NASCAR 25 will be up in about 15 to 20 minutes. I'm going to grab something to eat real quick, refill my water, and then I'll be ready to go there.